off, but we get a call. Young man's missing off of Horn Island, Mississippi. You eventually got in touch with the mother. Let's take it from the top.
Absolutely. So July 4th, right? Everybody's out there doing their thing. You know, I live out on the river, so I know what to expect sometimes when people party on that river. Start getting phone calls, frantic messages on social media. Help, help, help. You know, my cousin, my friend, and then you know, I dig into it a little bit. Give yourself and Todd a call. Said, hey, we got a hot one. Reach out to the mother reaches out to me. And it was bad. It was, you know, your gut just drops. Yep. So got that phone call, had some communication with mom, started asking her the tough questions, you know, and unfortunately sometimes those questions are, they're not nice or friendly. And I told her, you know, from the beginning, hey, I'm going to ask you some stuff about your son. I just need the truth because it helps us, you know, find out what's truly going on. And there, it's, you know, 18 years old. Has he been drinking? Do you know if he's drinking or the previous day? And yes. But I also asked her a question that, was very interesting. I asked her if he could swim. And yes, he had taken swimming lessons as a child. Yeah. Extremely athletic.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
6'1", 180 pounds, good shape, playing junior college football. You know, was in the middle of training. Matter of fact, there was some talk about how he wanted to kind of take it easy because he had a Monday morning workout he wanted to be fresh for and all that kind of stuff.
It's, you know, it's a shame. Every story that I've heard about this young man was good.
Yeah,
you know,
he's
like
a rock star.
Absolutely.
Tons of friends, tons of everybody in the community knew him. I got a lot of people I personally know from that part of the coast who had children his age. They'd known him since they were little, talked about how bubbly and kind he was. And it's like, man, to know this kid's a love him, please find him, please find him. Okay, we're going to do our best.
Absolute stud on the football field.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, quarterback in high school, wide receiver for college, right? So he's
played
an athlete.
D2. I think that's Division II.
Southwest,
but with some aspirations and some potential of being a D1 athlete.
Yeah,
right.
Transfer up.
Yeah, and again, you know, it's hearing these stories just about the kid, about, you know, Nolan. There was one story in particular that, you know, really said a lot about the person that he was. A good Samaritan, and really had a good heart. At one point in school, there was you know, what I like to call an exceptional child with some learning disabilities, and Nolan had everybody in the class not raise their hand, so this kid could raise his hand and answer the question, right? So it's just a feel-good thing, and it makes me learn a lot about the person and then about the crowd he hangs out with.
Right.
Doesn't take away from the mission. It actually adds to the mission. So, again, got the phone call from the mother. We put action into play really, really quick. You were there.
Yeah,
so you were on the coast.
We'll just go with the timeline, like, you know, talk about the call on 4th of July. That was Saturday night. By Sunday morning, there was kind of no new news, and we had a couple of our Mississippi chapter volunteers reach out and say, hey, I got a boat, I got a drone. They went out there, they canvassed the island, they physically went on the island, flew the drone, ran a grid with their boat, put the drone up, looking in the water, looking over land, even went to the center of the island where they had the lagoons and stuff. They sent me pictures saying, hey, look, there's cactus, there's thorny brush. There's no way he walked over here barefoot and fell in the lagoon. And so they spent the better part of the day out there, called it quits when the weather picked up, and that's when we huddled that night and decided, hey, it's time to go to the air. So we decided to put a bird up on Monday morning, July 6th.
Yep. So it was a donated bird, actually.
Yeah. Another volunteer reached out and said, hey, I got a plane in Gulfport, happy to go fly. I'm like, yep, that's speaking my language. So we met up at first light.
Wait, let's talk about this plane, because I was going to go too. And
Technum?
It's that experimental aircraft. So, dude, I don't need that.
For those of you that don't know, experimental, the classification of experimental is either experimental or certified. Certified is the FAA designation that it's like a manufacturer that the FAA knows well, they know everything about the plane, but if you want to have worked on it, you have to have an A&P, an actual aircraft mechanic, and everything has to be logged. Experimental just means that you're allowed to work on it yourself. And a lot of times experimental planes, some people, like you hear about people buying a kit plane, putting together themselves, and then they can work on. So the point is that like experimental doesn't mean like we don't know if this thing's going to fly or not. It just means that you can experiment with it. You can enhance it and all that. You don't have to log everything and get permission from the FAA. So having known that, I was not at all concerned about. And the Technum, the Technum 2008, and there's several models of the Technum. They just came out with a new four-seater that looks pretty badass, but it's got a Rotex 912. Those engines go into a lot of newer planes. They're very fuel efficient. They run really well, and I wasn't worried about it at all. And they cruise at about 100 sponsoring this podcast. We get up, we go wheels up on, this is 6 July, Monday morning, wheels up about 6:30 a.m. And we decided that we were going to fly south, got clearance on runway 14, so we're already,
I see you in the bushes, bro. Get your money.
we go over Horn Island, all the way south to Chandelier. We start, traversing back and forth, over towards the northeast corner of Ship Island, and then we're looking at the northwest corner of Horn Island, which was the last place that Nolan was seen by an eyewitness. So we're flying for a couple hours, and we start making one of our tracks back north. Notice a couple boats on the beach that weren't there before. We descended. We started circling. We could see that there was and there was more boats coming in, like in a line, and they were obviously law enforcement boats or Coast Guard or whatever. They were official vessels, and they were starting to set up a command post on the beach. And we figured something was going on, something was found, and then we get the call. I get the call from you or the text from you that said, "Hey, they think they found them," and so we did an RTB, and then so I get back. Kind of flip it back over to you. You're in Ocean Springs with Nolan's mom.
So I was at the boat. So I was at the boat.
This
launch.
is Monday mid-morning.
9:00.
Yeah,
9:15, somewhere in there. So I got the call. Obviously, we were coordinating with the local law enforcement, Jackson County, Mississippi Sheriff's Office, and great to work with.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I got the call initially from Nolan's mother, as well as some of the families, that they felt that more could be done. Right? They personally felt, and this is with every family or every person that's missing. Hey, we want everything out there, and obviously we do that. That first day, that Sunday, we had 4 boats, 2 drones, multiple people on the ground. Our seaplanes were on standby as well. But after the island was clear, there was really no use for a seaplane, just based on a float plane, we'll call it, right? So yeah, I get the call from the Sheriff's Department, and I'm almost to the Lake Mars boat launch, where the ICP was. And I found out before the mother. They called me.
ICP, Incident Command Post.
Incident Command Post, right? The sheriff.
Everybody knows our acronym. RTB means return to base, by the way. I said that earlier.
We need an acronym, Joe. You put a buck in every time you use it.
Yeah.
So I get the phone call from the sheriff. Then the mother calls me. Immediately after, sheriff calls me. He calls the mom. Mom calls me. And I asked her, she was obviously got the news.
Yeah.
I asked her where she was. She was about 10 minutes out. So I'm at the ICP right there at the boat launch. Literally just starting to meditate for a minute, right? Because I knew what was coming. Mother and father get there. And this is one of those stories that'll get you. Car pulls up. I see them coming. They're white Volkswagen, whatever.
Yeah.
And mom gets out and runs to me. I mean, literally runs to me 15 yards, gives me the biggest hug ever, in tears, and collapses in my arms. It's one of those moments I won't forget. And it's a driving moment, right? From there, we literally sat on the ground, Brian. It was interesting. They offered the command post, the command vehicle, for us to go sit in the air conditioning. And I'm on the ground. She's on the ground. She's crying. I got my arm around her. Nolan's father was there. And it was just one of those surreal moments where, we're all saying a prayer, and we know that that's the beginning of some really hard times.
The worst day. We meet people on their worst day.
Absolutely. So a lot of times people ask me how I do it, right? Or how we do it as a team when we find cadavers or people who are unalived. That doesn't bother me. Those moments where it's the family.
The people that are still alive, that's what gets you.
That's what gets me.
Yeah.
So from there, Sheriff's Department, the people were starting to gather, right? People were gathering up. They were letting them through. Family, large family, great people. So they actually moved his remains to another location. So they could offload and get him where he needed to go.
Did they helicopter him out, or did they put him on a boat? Because when I got back to Gulfport Airport, I saw the medevac spinning up, and I thought maybe could have been going on a routine call for the hospital, but I thought maybe they were going out to the island. I didn't watch them depart. So
I got to ask y'all one goddamn question.
Did y'all hear that?
Hey, shout out to that boy Mike from the Ville. Done walked in, big stepping, super duper salute with the $4.99 super chat super step on the way in. Says hit the like on the way in and drop your state where y'all calling from so we can show some love, y'all. Let's go. Super duper salute to you. Much appreciation, brother man. Gio Roman, salute. Rumor, most aggravating chat. Mars, hype up Saturday. Let's go. Mongoose says, is this live right now? This show is. Mike from the Ville, calling from Florida. This interview isn't, but the channel is. E5 says, excuse me. You're excused, E5. Super duper salute to you, though. Let's go. Let's keep it rolling.
We ended up going I went to the coroner's office.
Yeah.
The mother asked me to be a part of that. And I've been with the family throughout a lot of the steps, which it makes me feel good. Great people, but they have got a path ahead of them.
They do. Right. And speaking of that, so you have the whole, He's missing. Okay, now we know for a fact that he did not survive. We do have his remains, though. But now we start getting into the controversial moment.
Oh, my God.
Hold on, we got New Jersey in the building. We got Kenya by way of North Carolina in the building. And we got an Uncle Alert for 440 Jules. Shout out to, is that Dial Smith? Shout out to you. Let's go.
The story is that, as we've been told, it's been repeated a lot now in the media, that Nolan went out to Horn Island on a boat with some of his longtime friends. They get out there around 3 o'clock. The operator of the boat notices that it's taking on water. The build's not working. He wants to take the boat back to the boat launch. They decide to pack up and leave. Nolan is talking to some other friends at that point, says, no, I'm good. I'm going to hang back and I'll catch a ride with somebody else.
This is the United Cajun Navy, the guys that went out, the search and rescue team.
His friends leave shortly after that, presumably. There's another report that another friend of his saw Nolan closer to 4 o'clock, still on the island, talking to a different group of friends. Yep. Didn't hear anything. I haven't heard any credible eyewitnesses who saw
New Jersey in the building, Antarctica in the building, Louisiana all up in here. Let's go.
him after that. But that puts him on the island, presumably after his original friend group left. So now we have the gap of from then, about 4 o'clock on July 4th, to when he went in the water, which we don't know. I'm assuming that was before dark, before all the boats left, and he did not make it back out of the water alive. So now you have the beast of the social media.
Oh my God!
Of people, clickbaiters and rage baiters, going out there and making up all kind of stories. And now you have these kids who are longtime friends of Nolan's who are getting death threats.
Absolutely.
It's compounding they're already shock and grief over the loss of their friend. Probably feeling partially responsible, if not, just guilty anyway. Just like, man, I should have just made him get in the damn boat. Say, man, we came here together. We're leaving together. It's bro code. And I'm not blaming the kids. I'm saying, if you're, especially if you're nervous about a boat taking on water, you're like, look, we got to go.
I don't know, but we got a phone call. We got new audio that suggests that maybe those kids aren't so innocent. Of course, this is all speculative speech. This is all alleged. We don't have any proof, but there is new audio from that emergency call that everybody is focusing on now, and it seems a bit suspect. We'll get to that.
You're a grown man. I can't make you come, but we're leaving. You've got to make sure you get your way back. So that, and again, I'm not trying to make up facts or scenarios here. This is what we've been told so far. It's going to be thoroughly investigated. There's a lot of eyeballs on this. The story will come out. Hopefully, some more consistent stories will come out that'll make a little more sense than the ones we've heard.
I've heard so much, and I'm gonna put it like this.
Yeah.
Oregon in the building, North Carolina in the building, Tennessee and Texas is in the building. Let's go.
I've heard so much bullshit.
Yeah, there is a lot of bullshit out there.
Let me put it like this. Number one, to the people out there that are calling me a racist, I'm the farthest thing from a racist, number one. I spent 18, 19 days walking the streets of North Baton Rouge looking for Jadarius Manyweather in what they call the worst part of Baton Rouge. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm a part of that family, excuse me.
Yeah.
Farthest thing from a racist. So if anybody out there wants to call me the face for racism, on Facebook, get up from behind that keyboard and come say it to my face, because I'm fed up with that shit.
If you want to donate to the United Cajun Navy, you can use Visa, MasterCard, American Express to cover, but we don't take the fishing.
You said the race card. I don't. Florida in the building. I see Florida. Let's go. I'm saying, who even blamed? Now this is something that's new to me. The United Cajun Navy. I didn't see anybody sending any hate their way, but then again, he's speaking from what he's going through on his Facebook. Why would the finger be pointed at the people that helped recover the body as racist? That's the part I'm not understanding that. And this ain't about him anyway. Let's go.
That card's being
Shadow,
played
what's
out
up
there,
with it,
right?
bro?
Yeah, and it's being played by people looking for likes and clicks,
right.
trying
So,
to get,
the family, number one, they don't need it.
Shout out to Haiti and Greenland. Let's go.
Family doesn't need it. They've turned social
Is that Missouri?
media off. Good for them. We've discussed it, and she doesn't need it. The family doesn't need it.
Well, and then, of course, now the family has retained Ben Crump, who's a well-known civil rights lawyer, and say what you want about him or the fact that they retained him. But what I will say about Crump is that whatever case he's affiliated with gets a lot of attention. And I believe this case should keep continuing a lot of attention. There's still answers that family deserves. So I'm not begrudging of that.
Detroit, Michigan in the house.
But one thing I will say that the statements that the family has put out, I think, have met the moment.
Yep.
As far as the public and the community is concerned. Like, let's wait. And I thought the statement the local NAACP put out over there was very responsible, saying, we're watching. We have eyeballs. We all know what our job is. We're watching this. We're not letting it go. But let's wait for the facts to come out. Let's not jump to conclusions, start accusing people of stuff. Thought it was a good job by them to not fan the flames. And so
I spoke to the mother today.
Yeah, okay.
On her way to DC.
As we we're recording
on my way
this
here.
on July. What's today? Thursday, July the 9th.
The 9th.
Yeah.
So I spoke to Mama today, and I speak to her every day.
Yeah.
Just to touch base with her. I've got 3 calls in a
You got to
minute,
work on that racism.
Right.
Yours,
Yeah. Oops.
You're
So
not
I have
too good at it.
I have 3 calls I make every day. Right. Jadarius's mom Aquarius.
Yeah.
Whose son is still in the landfill.
Right.
Right. So
We'll
a
get
month
into that
later,
in the
we'll get
next
into
show.
that one in the
Yeah.
next show. I've got Miss Christine, whose son just passed away.
Right.
And then I've got another parent. I don't want to discuss it. I call in just to check on them to see how they're doing.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not a racist, but anyway, so that bullshit that's coming out, and look, again, it's rage baiters, race baiters, whatever you want to call it.
I understand him defending himself, but you don't have to continuously. This is like the 3rd time in less than 3 minutes that you say I'm not a racist. We get it, bro. Everybody don't think you racist. You out here doing the good work and fighting the good fight. And even if you was racist, if you still, well, nah, fuck that. Flint, Michigan in the house. Atlanta, Georgia in the house. Shout out to everybody, man. Double tap the screen. Please double tap the screen. I see a lot of engagement in the chat. I would like to see some engagement on that like button, please. We are not here for a joyous occasion, but at the same time, if I was gone, I would not want everybody sitting around sad. Yes, continue to say the name. Yes, continue to fight for justice, but don't sit and sulk. In the midst of everything that's going on, you got to keep living your life. So we got to keep living ours, and I'm sure Nolan will want the same. And in the midst of that, he will want us to keep doing good things and putting out good energy, right? So why don't you guys be good enough, great enough, well enough, and hit that like button, because it's 245 people watching and we only got 17 likes. What are we doing? Run the likes up, please. If I go, have fun. I ain't saying celebrate like, yeah, that motherfucker gone. I'm just saying, like, be like, damn, bro always tried to make shit fun. Bro always tried to stay away from the negative. Bro always try, have fun if I go. God damn. Anyway.
Call it. Color, creed, sexual preference, religion, political party, I don't care. We don't care. We're going to look for whoever needs to be found, right?
Right.
So some of the stories that I've heard, let's talk about some of this
Well, it's a
crazy
good time
rumor.
to point out that United Cajun Navy is an organization. We don't make anybody fill out an application in order to get rescued or to get help. No. We don't have any box checking. If you know how to use the internet or a phone, you can find us, and if we can help, we will.
Absolutely.
And they did do the help, man. Listen, I don't have no problem with the United Cajun Navy. I don't care about you can assume somebody. This is one thing. We all do it as human beings, not just Americans, not black, not white, as humans, period. We all do this shit right here. Assume. Look at somebody and prejudge. Off of what we see visually or what we hear, we assume automatically. Oh, look at this motherfucker. He got to be racist. Look at his beard. Backwoods. We don't know these people. Hold on, but sometimes when we assume we be right, though. But anyway, let's go ahead and move forward. We're going to talk about this audio that's in question now, right? Everybody's talking about this new audio that they're saying that you can hear something in the background. Jeffrey Dean says, to whomever reads this, I'm proud of you and you matter. You're loved and cared about, regardless of when the voice in the back of your head says you're worthless and a failure or burden. It's a lie. Don't listen. Hold on, bro. I want to pin that message. Thank you for that, Jeffrey Dean. Okay, so this is the audio in question. We're gonna play a little bit of it, and then you're gonna hear other people break it down. Let's go.
CTO Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working.
Hold on. Let me get to the. I see y'all in the chat. Mike from the Ville says I don't have to tell everyone I don't steal in every store that I walk into. Is that Tommy's? Oh, to my. Is that to my Sluicer? To my, or is that Tommy? To my or Tommy Sluicer? To my. I think it looks like it says to my. Anyway. Why is that the first word out of his mouth? I know he's got to be racist. You see that beard? Come on, bro. Don't say because of the beard. That's a beard. Mel says, United Cajun agent be spoken on the live one more time. I'm going to smack you in the United. Huh? I don't know what. Mary by the Pool says he's the go-between. That's why he keeps saying it. If you're not a racist, then why do you have to tell everyone? That's odd. It does make you think. Problem just trying to spread love and kindness in a world full of so much hate and negativity. One love, bro. Listen, super duper salute to you and thank you, bro. This is why that's pretty much my angle. That's pretty much my angle, bro. Listen, we don't got to love each other. We don't got to like each other, but we got to be able to coexist. And you don't have to respect me. Just don't go out your way to disrespect me. And then we can coexist, right? It's just that simple. Somebody says, why are you wearing your mom's gym socks? Because they make me better, like the shoes and like Mike. You know what I'm saying? You know when Calvin Cambridge put those shoes on and like Mike, he played better. So when I put on my mom's gym socks, I play better. Let's go.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right, well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir?
I don't know the phone number. It's either Jerry Atkerson. I think it's Jerry Atkerson. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't have the tag
unless
on
you
here.
have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How
on
many?
board.
All right. Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
All right. All right. Do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Let me go look.
If not,
That speech is quite slurred, right? That sounds like somebody who's inebriated. That sounds like someone who has been indulging in libations. That speech is very slurred, right? Don't that sound like somebody who has been indulging in libations? An exuberant amount of libations. Talking like this. Yes, I'm gonna change you. I'm gonna change it. I've been wondering how to that. I'm gonna change you. Let me go check. We're taking on water and do you want us to send? We have an emergency. You want us to send help? What?
I can send you a text message.
Do you want us to send help? What? Even though I was calling for an emergency, no, I don't want y'all to send no help, though. No, don't send them.
All right, are you ready?
Yes, sir, I'm available.
North 30 degrees. But 4672.
All right, 4672. All right, and you were breaking up a little bit. Can you just repeat it one more time to make sure I have it correct?
Sorry, look. What,
Hello,
what do I
can
need
you
to
hear
send
me?
Yeah, what?
So you're breaking up. If you need
Is an
assistance,
emergency. He said, yeah, what? They were drunk as shit. Y'all can't hold on.
Secret Service Sam here with a Nolan Xavier Wells update, and this is insane. You have to hear this audio in the beginning where they're calling for the emergency for their bilge pump and they're taking on water. I swear you can hear her say, "Oh my God, is he dead?" and yells, "Nolan." Listen to the audio.
To connect you.
Tito Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the...
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir?
First of all, the guy making the call sounds definitely drunk, and see for their bilge pump, and they're taking, "God, is he dead?" and yells, "Nolan." Listen to the audio.
To connect you.
That on, sir? That ain't weird. I see y'all in the chat. I don't even see that dude, the shovel, or the shovel. Is that supposed to be disheveled in a whole nother way? I don't even see his. Y'all must have blocked him already. I don't know. But anyway, shout out to y'all. Thank y'all, mods. Super duper salute the team. They were saying that TMZ didn't have this part of the audio in the original release, in their original release, excuse me. That all of that was said before. This was, let me see.
Tito Assistance, Vicky.
TMZ cut all of that out. It goes right to assistance. Do you guys hear the same thing though? Is that what you guys hear?
Listen to the audio.
To connect you.
It definitely sounds like she said he's dead. It definitely sounds like she asked the question, was he dead? It sounds like she said that in an inquisitive manner, like she was asking, he's dead? Was that no? He's dead. That audio isn't distinct, but it can be made out, or it can be interpreted and misinterpreted. But with all the evidence thus far, with everything that's going on, it sounds like Nolan. That could be a placebo effect. It could be your mind wanting to hear Nolan. It's not clear enough for me. You may hear it different, and I'm not upset at anybody who says I heard Nolan for sure. What I did hear, in my opinion, what I think I heard was he's dead in an inquisitive manner. That I feel pretty accurate about. I can't tell that he said Nolan. It's like, no, matter of fact, let me put my headphones on. Let me put my headphones on. Let me do this. Hold on. Fuck. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let's see. Let's just see. Hold on. Let me see. Did he say no?
Connect you.
It still sounds the same without the headphones, but that could be a broken, rusty, crying, almost a scream, like a screech. Nolan! Nolan. It could be one of those. It's still not distinct, even with the headphones. She definitely said he's dead in an inquisitive manner. I'm 99% on that. I almost put the house on that, or the tent in this matter, but still. Nah, dog. I'm about 75% he said Nolan.
Detail assistant.
Then somebody said, oh my God, I can't hear the rest. Hold on. He's dead. What sounds like Nolan. Then, oh my God.
Detail assistance. Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the...
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir?
Somebody saying wake the F up in the background. We didn't even get to that. But hold on. Is that somebody saying wake the F up? I heard that clear. Oh my goodness.
Speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the...
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir?
Somebody said wake up. Wake the F up. Whoa.
Hey, we're at the...
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's something the F up. It's something the F up. I don't know if it's get the F up, wake the F up. What is he saying? Lift the front up? Why would you lift the front of the boat up? I'm trying to find other words that people could say, oh no, we were talking about this, we were talking about that. I can't think of nothing.
Hey, we're at the...
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up,
I hear wake the F up, bro.
sir?
First of all, the guy making the call sounds definitely drunk.
No, he is exuberantly inebriated off of engaging in libations.
And I don't know, are we reaching here? But I think there is more in this call in the background. This is as much as the audio has been able to be sweetened, but there has to be some audio people out there with some good software that can really bring out this audio for us, because I think he was on that boat, and I think this whole emergency call was just to cover, because as you know, CETO said they were called out, but then they canceled it. The Coast Guard didn't come out until the next day, but then the Coast Guard says, oh yeah, no, we came to look the day before. Everybody is covering, allegedly, for these kids. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Secret Service, Sam out, Samson for president.
Why does anybody have to have been on a boat or have had any experience being on a boat to understand audio is my only question. I see in the chat someone asked if you ever had experience on the boat. What does that have to do with the audio in question? Being on a boat or having an experience on the boat, what is anyone questioning typically on a routine boat outing that they have to say is he dead and oh my God and get the F up or wake the F up? So your question to me doesn't necessarily make sense, and I would need you to explain why having experience being on a boat would correlate with this audio not being suspicious at all or being routine. I need you to make that make sense, please.
Well. It looks like we're catching Warren Hudson in another lie. When Wyatt called CETO, he said there were 7 lives on board. And now we have this picture. And the 7 people that were on board included Nolan Xavier Wells. And he's with a girl who isn't Katie Kitchen Seasoning. Also, Bart, who was said to have piloted one of the other 2 boats to Horn Island that day is also on this boat with Wyatt and Warren. How did he get on that boat? You know what we need? We need the dog footage of when this boat returned to shore.
Facts.
Well.
Once again, I see. How is this a money grab when, first of all, how would this be a money grab if the parents didn't plan for the death of their son? How does this automatically turn to a money grab by parents who lost a son? So you're saying that people, we lost a son, this is our opportunity to get some funding? Is that how sick and small your mind is, that you see someone using a death of a loved one and wanting justice for that loved one? You see that as somebody using this as an opportunity for solely for financial gain? Your mind has to be small, and your common sense has to be very little, or the delusion / hatred in your heart has to be very massive for you to automatically say that this is a money grab, because people who never been through this before went, and no matter who they went and got to represent them, they don't know. We don't know who to go get to represent us when we're in these situations, because we've never been through it. If there's only, whether you like this person or not, if this person is the person that can bring attention, which could possibly help bring justice or get some answers, that's cut and dry right there. Only thing I want is answers. People keep throwing this money grab thing out. How small is your mind? Are you deflecting? Are you saying what you would do if your child was to come up missing? If your child was to come up deceased? Is that something that you would be doing? Is that why you're then trying to put that on somebody else? Oh, this is a money grab. Is that because that's what you would do? How's it a money grab? And I know y'all get enough of this fake picture going around. I don't know if this is AI. I don't know if this is fake. Y'all see this right here? They're saying this is Nolan. Obviously not. First of all, the complexion. Second of all, this guy right here had on like gray pants. Nolan had on blue. And none of these guys were the guys, I guess, that he was supposed to be pictured with. I don't even know if this is real. If it is, the people in this video need to be investigated, arrested, and punished to the furthest extent of the law. But I don't know what's going on with this picture right here, but we're not going to pay that any attention, right? I don't know that you guys will be able to actually see. Can y'all see this video? It kind of sits off to the side a tad bit, and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, YouTube, it's a different orientation, so you probably can't. Oh, you can see it. I see it in my review page, sitting off to the side a tad bit. We're going to continue with the story. We're going to watch the 4th installment of the interview with Officer Tate. We're going to watch, Officer Tatum, or whatever his name is. We're going to look at Officer Tate. Officer Tatum have a discussion with somebody else who disagrees and all type. We're going to look into that, but this is just...
You know them boys don't know how to swim. Yeah. You throw them in that water. They say, swim, boy, swim. Woo! Learn how to swim, boy. You can't do it. You can't do it, boy. Y'all ain't ever gonna learn how to swim. Yeah, they did it. Them boys did it. This is a damn tradition for us. Yeah, this is a tradition. We take you boys out in the woods. We throw you in the swamp. We throw you in the creek. We throw you in the springs and rivers. Yeah, we throw you in them oceans. Y'all can't do a damn thing. Y'all be in there splashing and screaming, I can't swim, I can't swim, oh hell no. But you know, it ain't our fault. It ain't our fault you're fucking stupid. Grown man don't know how to swim. Yeah, what y'all think we do? You know, yeah, it's a big conspiracy. You know, every 6 months this skin tone, we all get together in our neighborhoods and we have like a little neighborhood meeting. Y'all ain't invited. We get together, we make plans, we talk about y'all, talk about, yeah, let's put this one in football, you know, let's put this one in basketball, yeah, let's encourage him to do that and this, yeah. We bet on y'all. Man, we just play y'all like a damn game and y'all don't even know it. This is a tradition. Been going on since the beginning of time. And y'all still in the dark. And you know, I thought I'd go ahead and tell you, but even me telling you, it's still just gonna be conspiracy and nobody's gonna be able to prove it.
A few moments later.
So, as you all know, I've been doxxed. I lost my job this morning. I had to leave home. Everybody's fucking pissed off at me. Now these idiots are wanting to get a judge involved because I'm a dangerous person, and now they want to, you know, try and do something about custody because I'm too much of a danger to be around children.
They would have forgot about us. Dream.
You know the.
Hey, I don't know. But we are about to watch the 4th installment of this Officer Tatum interview. Nolan Wells' best friend, quote unquote, breaks silence on what happened to Nolan's phone. This is part 4. We watched part 1, 2, and 3 yesterday. We're going to watch part 4 now. I appreciate y'all riding out. Keep running them likes up. Please keep running them likes up, man. Go ahead. However you feel. Whether you're upset, angry, you're happy, you want me to shut the F up, you want the content to continue, you like the content, you hate the content, express all of your emotions on that like button. Take all your emotions out on the like button. If you want to say rest in peace, Nolan Wells, hit the like button. If you dislike Nolan Wells, you can leave, but hit the like button on your way out. If you think Warren Hudson is suspicious, hit the like button. If you think Officer Tatum is an Uncle Ruckus, hit the like button. Oh, man. Shout out to y'all, man. The most aggravating chat in the game. Most appreciated chat in the world. 8 more likes to get us to 50. Let's go.
My neck out there. But I applaud you and appreciate you.
I was not feeling good today, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I feel a little bit better now that we're here.
For stepping up, for doing what Nolan would be proud of you doing, and that is putting your word out there and not letting the naysayers run with the narrative.
Of course.
And you being a young guy, I'm much older than you. Mm-hmm. I could take the punches.
Right.
You know, I love dishing it out. Mm-hmm. But for you as a young man to
I don't know what time your clock say, but it's 4:20 somewhere.
Really put your neck out there to stand up for your friends and stand up for Nolan is very honorable. And I appreciate you doing this interview with me.
Well, I appreciate you. I mean, you being here and flying down has meant a lot. And I mean, I just wanted to get my story out there because I know that's what Nolan would want me to do. And I want the truth to come out. And I pray that the good Lord reveals the truth to
Hey, Sean. I'm coming here with that bullshit. He trying to come. Oh, yeah. Why don't you care about when blacks kill other blacks? You must be new here, fool. You must be new here.
Back to my buddy's house, so I stayed there.
Come on, man. Nigga, we don't condone none of that bullshit from whoever it is. Even you.
But then I think that there's a part.
Appreciate the mods, man. Thank y'all to the mods. I'm gonna let this roll. I ain't gonna interrupt no more. I just had to give him the laugh of fame, man. I seen my homeboy. We were reading it at the same time. I was on the way to get him. All I saw was bye, and I saw him on that rocket ship getting the hell up out of Dodge.
Associated with this that's being rumored out in the public, and that is the situation with the cell phone, potential deletion of messages.
Here we go, y'all. Here we go. All right, enough of the BS. Here we go. What happened to Nolan's phone? This is part 4 of the Officer Tatum interview. But before I play this, I should have done this way earlier. I swear to God, we finna get right to it, but I gotta let y'all know that. The videos, photos, or documents you're about to see are being used under the Fair Use Act for education, entertainment, commentary, research, or satirical purposes only. The views and thoughts expressed within them do not necessarily represent the views and thoughts of the RUMORNATI Network, its annoying host, or its aggravating but ever so amazing chat. Let's go.
I was with my buddy Brooks, and I broke down.
You guys had been interviewed by law enforcement. Mm-hmm. All of you guys have given statements. But then I think that there's a part associated with this that's being rumored out in the public, and that is the situation with the cell phone, potential deletion of messages, how the cell phone was retrieved. And I just want you to tell your side of this, because what we're getting from the media is that they literally had to, I don't know, coerce you guys into giving it back. You didn't know where it was at. You were hesitant to give the phone over, almost as they had to turn your wrist or twist your arm just to give it back. Right. Well, what happened with the cell phone thing? So let's go back to the first engagement you had when it comes to the family or somebody coming back to get the cell phone and keys. When did that occur, and what happened there? Okay, well, that night, about 12:30, I went back to my buddy's house. And you said the night of the 4th? The night of the 4th, but it was about 12:30, I would like to say. And so I went back to my buddy's house that I stayed the night before, where we all met up, and stayed together the night before. And my buddy got a call from this guy, and the guy was like, oh, what's going on with all this Nolan stuff? Very aggravated. I mean, yeah, every right to be, but I mean, we were trying to calm him down, and he was just like, oh, where y'all at? My buddy said, we're at my buddy's house, and he said, all right, and then he just hung up. And so about 30 minutes later, I'd like to say, all of a sudden the door just got open and slammed, and there was a girl who walked in, and probably about 8 or 9 guys behind her, and then another mom, which was Javon's mom. And who's Javon? I want to put that in perspective. Who is Javon? Javon is one of Nolan's good friends. He's a friend of mine too, great guy. And his mom and their family is, very close with, the Wells family. And so I don't know why she was there, what was going on, but I was very surprised by this. I was you just basically kicked the door open and, bust up in the house with no knock or anything. So is Javon black or white? Javon's mixed. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I guess he's mixed. Yeah. So, but he's not white. He's not white. Just white. Yeah. Or all white, I guess you might call it. Yeah. So then they come in the house. Do you know any of these people? You said the mom, but do you know anybody else? I've seen the mom before, and I know most of them. Most of the guys went to high school with me, and I'm friends with some of the guys. I mean, I know some of them. So eventually, things started to get heated, and I was just a guy I was friends with in high school. He was like, "Man, come outside with me," and I was like, "All right." And I walked outside with him. He was like,
man, I don't know why, like they're panicking and, you know, like this is just, like, I think Nolan's just on somebody's couch. He's been drinking all day. He's just messed up. And, you know, this is nothing that we have to worry about. As much as, you know, I sat there and I told him, I was like, you know, I agree. I would think, you know, he's on somebody's couch, just had been drinking all day and just, you know, drank too much and was super intoxicated. And, you know, that's kind of what a lot of us thought, but they were kind of losing it and they were going crazy. And the mom that was with them demanded Nolan's phone, because Nolan left the phone on the boat. And when we ran in, Nolan didn't ask for his phone, and his keys were not on the boat because his car was parked at my buddy's house where we had all slept, you know, the night before the 4th. And so the keys were left at the house because Nolan's car was at my buddy's house where we stayed at. So of course he left his keys there. But his phone, I mean, he was drinking. He didn't have his phone in the water because no one did. And I mean, there was more than just Nolan's phone that wasn't on the boat with us.
So it was more than just Nolan's phone that was on the boat?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously had all our phones, but on the boat. But those weren't the only people. Like, Nolan wasn't the only person that left a phone on the boat. There was a lot of people that left phones on the boat, that didn't ride out or in with us. So we I mean, there was a couple phones that we had that we didn't know who they belonged to, and my buddy's got that figured out, you know. But it wasn't just Nolan's phone that, you know, was on the boat that who wasn't there. You know, there was a lot of phones.
So when they barged in, they started getting frantic. The mom asked for Nolan's phone.
Right.
Was there a struggle over it, or did you guys hand it over?
I mean, just handed it over. I mean, we didn't think anything of it. Like,
so was that false information? Is that something anecdotal, or what's going on with that?
You know, she asked for Nolan's phone. We knew they were close friends with, you know, the Wells family, and my buddy went out to his truck and handed the phone over. No complications, no issue, you know, nothing. But I mean, I told Miss Christine that we had his phone and he had left it in our possession on the boat.
When did you? Miss Christine is Nolan's mom.
Correct.
When did you talk to her about that?
When I was on, no, I didn't talk to her once. Like, it was like 12:30. I mean, I might have texted her a couple times and, like, you know, talked briefly about a couple things, but I told her on the phone before I called the Coast Guard that we had Nolan's phone. Before I called Miss Christine, I asked, I was like, oh, well, where's his location at? Because Nolan had his Snapchat location on for me. And he said, you know, Wyatt said it's, you know, in my truck. Like, because everybody who left stuff on the boat, it was Wyatt's boat, so Wyatt put it in his truck, you know, like, it's just normal. And so the phone was in possession in Wyatt's truck. And when that mom came over and asked for it, there was no issue at all with us giving the phone to her. I mean, Nolan just left it on the boat. We handed the phone to her that night of the 4th of July.
So where did that come from, that there was a struggle to get the phone and the keys back? And once again, this is just my opinion on one man on the internet with a mask on, okay? But this is just my opinion. Why does he speak so matter-of-factly? Yesterday, I posed the question, could he be detached? Because two things could be true, right? We have to give the facts of the scenario until we know. We have to give what the scenario is until we know the facts. These are the points. He once considered Nolan a friend, right? At least that's what we are said to believe, that he was once considering Nolan a friend, a best friend. So could he have had been sad, but then after being accused of taking the life of his best friend, now he's become kind of callous because he's had to defend himself so much. And I'm not pandering, I'm not coddling, I'm not catering. I think it's something suspicious, but let's just say at the end of the day, the facts come out and these guys don't have anything to do with it, and another group of guys does, or maybe the girl's dad does, or somebody else does, or something, right? Would his actions would you then go back and say, oh, okay, it wasn't that he was just callous or detached. It was, it wasn't that he was just callous or he didn't care. He became detached when the death threats came in, when the blame gets pointed, I'm just looking at, there's more than one perspective here, right? We can't just have a flock mentality. Everybody, oh yeah, he's guilty. Da-da-da. Somebody has to be the advocate for the other side of thought. That's how you get to the truth, by challenging what's presented to you. So we have to challenge it. I got to ask the question.
And did you guys go through the phone or?
Of course not.
See, everybody is asking. See, these are the questions that everybody else is going to ask. And these are the questions that I asked. These are the questions that I wanted to know yesterday. Now I have to ask other questions because all of y'all are saying that, right? You don't contact the parents. He never Why the fuck? He said he contacted the mother. But before if I'm not mistaken, before he contacted the mother, he called the water police. Why did you first call the water police? Or why were you so soon to assume that Nolan was dead instead of giving it 24 hours to see if he was actually on somebody's couch? Like you said he was. We just thought he was on somebody's couch. Are you sure? Because you called the water police to go look for him. So how did you? Never mind.
Well, none of us had a reason to go through Nolan's phone. There's multiple phones on the boat. Why would it be? And the boat was having issues. Why would our concern be getting on Nolan's phone or something? I don't even know Nolan's password. None of my friends do. We had no reason ever to get on Nolan's phone and look at anything. I didn't even touch Nolan's phone. None of us touched Nolan's phone until somebody took it off the boat and put it in Wyatt's truck, and then no one touched it until we handed it back, to the mom that was at my buddy's house.
Was that the only phone that she picked up, or was it other people's phone that they came and got? Or
that I know of, I think that was the only one that she had. But I'm not completely sure. I think that's the only one that she took Nolan's. That's it. And
so we're on the 4th, where the night, probably going into the morning of the 5th, this happens. Then the dad comes back at some point to get the keys. Right. What happened there? When was this and what happened?
Well, my buddy Brooks drove me and dropped me off at my house, and I woke up to a text.
He called Brooks' name, but he didn't call the name of the person who the person's whose house Nolan's car was parked at. Because he continues to say, my buddy. Nolan left his car at my buddy's house. We all parked at my buddy's house. But everybody else, he calls their name, Brooks. I'm not saying that buddy is a person of suspension or a person of interest. I'm just wondering, it's just how he picks and chooses to say certain things and then speaks as if it's scripted. He'll end his sentences with something like that. It sounds scripted. Am I an expert? No. Am I an FBI investigator? No. I'm just a guy on the internet with a mask on, man. I'm no professional.
Text the next morning that Miss Christine.
So please take all of this with a grain of salt, or matter of fact, don't take it at all. It's just entertainment, right? Take the facts for the facts, though. Find the facts. Do your due diligence. Come to your own conclusions, and then let the law give you the rest, right? But just because you feel a certain way, don't make it true. Always remember that.
Keys. Right. What happened there? When was this and what happened?
Well, my buddy Brooks drove me and dropped me off at my house, and I woke up to a text the next morning that Miss Christina texted me, and she said, hey, Nolan's dad's there, is there at my buddy's house to pick up the keys. And, I
got the key.
I didn't think anything of it. I told her that I was praying for her, and, that we were out there and we were, doing everything that we could to help out.
And when it came to pick the keys up, was it?
I can't help but feel like it sounds so rehearsed. I'm gonna let it go though.
Is there a confrontation or? Because I could have sworn I saw on the news that when he came to pick the keys up, it was almost like an altercation because you guys didn't want to get the keys over, or you didn't know where the keys were at?
No, absolutely not. I wasn't there, but from what my friend told me, they just had to look for Nolan's keys. It's not like, why would we be hiding Nolan's keys? There's no reason to hide anything. This is our friend. We have nothing to hide. We were trying to do everything that we could to help out.
All right, so
are y'all hiding the boat? How come the boat hasn't been turned over, right? Aren't the dogs supposed to be sniffing the boat before 30 days or something like that?
I want to be clear with this one thing.
And how come the boat? I thought the boat went to the grandparents' house first, but this is at night, so y'all stop at the grandparents' house and then go home. Am I mistaken right there, guys?
Because I know you mentioned before that you have no reason to touch the phone. Obviously, you didn't touch the phone.
Right.
But is there any chance or any knowledge that you have that anybody deleted stuff from his phone?
Absolutely not. I mean, like I said, there was no reason for us to get on Nolan's phone. No one touched Nolan's phone, but nothing.
Excuse me.
If none of us had touched Nolan's phone, then there's no reason for anything to be deleted. I mean, no one even was in contact with his phone.
It seems so rehearsed. It just seems so rehearsed, even the body language. And I'm sick and tired of that damn big ass, gigantic, ready to explode, disgusting. I don't even want to say the disease, but what is that thing on his lip right there? I'm getting so tired of seeing that. Every time he talked, that motherfucker just flapping like, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I know Nolan was my friend, man. Anyway, I know that had nothing to do with nothing, but I'm sorry, guys. Let's go.
Trim on the motor.
It's moving and shit.
The motor will stay in the water even when you start to accelerate. Because when my buddy would put the boat in gear and forward, the motor would come right back up. So it trimmed down, but then it'd come right back up when you went to go put it in forward.
Mentioning that something must have happened that you guys were going slow, then you accelerated all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely not. My buddy Trayson's black. But race was never
the world that have painted this picture of you and your friends as being potential murderers. And I think this is the first time that you've publicly gave a statement about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And obviously you're doing it with me, but to get the truth,
right,
and for you to have a voice in this.
Right.
And the first thing I want to ask you is, did you kill Nolan?
Of course not.
Did you have anything to do with Nolan's death?
Of course not. And absolutely not.
They say that you guys deleted stuff out of his phone. Did you delete anything out of Nolan's phone?
No, of course not.
The mom act like, or at least she portrayed on television, and the rumors are that you weren't really good friends with Nolan. Is that true or not?
Absolutely not. I hung out with Nolan probably like 3 days a week. I mean, seriously, at least. Some days my friends want to hang out every single day, and Nolan was always there. So,
and obviously people may see this and know the facts later,
right,
that you weren't able to go to the funeral,
mm-hmm,
or the memorial service.
Right.
Why didn't you go? What was that?
Well, I mean, with everything going on social media right now, with people saying the crazy things that they're saying, I would never want to take the attention off of Nolan and his family. They don't deserve that. And, for own personal reasons, I mean, I've gotten thousands of death threats. My family's got thousands of death threats. And, for my own safety, I'm not going to put my own health and safety at risk. It breaks my heart that I can't go, and it hurt me more than anything, because obviously I want to say my last goodbyes to one of my best friends. But I mean, if I'm getting thousands of death threats with people saying they're going to kill me and do crazy things to my family and I couldn't bring myself to go, because I got to put my own safety first. And even if that means, missing my friend's funeral, I mean, it's horrible, and I wish I could have been there, but that's what's been going on,
If let's just say it comes out that he's innocent and he has no knowledge of anything that went on, right? That would make sense. But boy, if we find out that you had anything to do with this, you mother...
Dwight put it in his truck, like it's normal. And so the phone was in possession in Wyatt's truck. I'm not completely sure. I think that's the only one that she took Nolan's. That's it. And
so we're on the 4th, where the night, probably going into the morning of the 5th, this happens. Then the dad comes back at some point to get the keys. Right. What happened there? When was this, and what happened?
Well, my buddy Brooks drove me and dropped me off at my house, and
You keep talking about Brooks.
They just had to look for Nolan's keys. It's not nothing.
You didn't touch the phone.
Right.
But is there any chance or any knowledge that you have that anybody deleted stuff from his phone?
Absolutely not. I mean, like I said, there was no reason for us to get on Nolan's phone. No one touched Nolan's phone, but nothing. If none of us had touched Nolan's phone, then there's no reason for anything to be deleted. I mean, no one.
It's just weird the way he worded that. He said nobody touched Nolan's phone. They said if none of us touched Nolan's phone, then there's no reason for anything to be deleted. Like it's just weird the way he worded it. But the digital records will tell if anything was deleted or not. They can find that out. So we don't have to speculate about that for too much longer, because there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of jumping to conclusions. There's a lot of suspicion. And I will say, it's very understood. It's very understood. And anybody who can't see that, I don't know what to tell you without...
Even was in contact with his phone until it was moved from the boat to the truck. And none of us have access to Nolan's password to get on his phone and delete anything. Absolutely not. And we have no reason to delete anything. I mean, there's nothing to hide here. I mean, we have had no reason to delete anything, and we never did.
All right, so I have.
It's something about there's nothing to hide here. Then the hesitant speech after that, there's nothing to hide here. We don't have no reason to delete anything. Like you're looking for the next thing to say. Is it a lot of pressure for a young man? Probably so. Is it a lot of pressure to cover up a homicide, allegedly? Dun, dun, dun. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. When you're trying to keep your composure and not spill the beans about a possible homie. But this is just alleged. This is just alleged and speculative speech. This is all alleged and it is speculative speech. I am just speculating. I am just speaking on, I'm one man. I'm not knowledgeable in the field of law. I don't have a history in the field of law or anything like that. I'm on the internet with a mask on and I'm solely giving my opinion. I can't help but to feel suspicious about this case and suspect that there is some foul play. The thing is, who's involved?
Something I want to make sure that we're clear about. Mm-hmm. Because you had mentioned earlier that you saw Nolan cradling Katie.
Right.
I think her name is Katie.
Yeah, Katie.
I just want you to explain, what does that mean? Some people in their mind, they may think he's cradling like a baby.
Yeah.
Like what is that scenario look like?
Yeah, he was. I mean, Nolan was off. The last time I saw him, like I said, I was off the bow of the boat, and like I said earlier, if you had jumped off the bow of the boat, you were probably about chest or neck deep in water. So Nolan wasn't like carrying her out the water. She's sitting in the water and Nolan's arms are under the water and he's carrying her from under the water, but her head's still out of the water. Nolan's head's still out of the water, and I was looking at both of them. So. Oh,
so he's kind of like holding her.
Right.
Kind of like,
in the water though.
Like we grown, right? There's two people in the water. They feeling each other.
Right.
Like meaning feeling they like each other.
Right.
And
that was obvious.
He's a little more close to her, and they're kind of having a moment.
Correct.
Not saying and not insinuating that it's sexual, but
no, of course not.
Yeah, because you talk about we grown, right? No, they're kids. They can't have liquor.
They're together. They like each other. You looking at him, you like, bro, you crazy. Because you know that
teenagers.
He like her and he's hanging out with her.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Exactly.
That makes sense. And when was the last time that you saw
Tatum will paint the hell of a picture and tell this guy
Nolan? And then when was the last time that someone reported to you that Nolan was seen? Okay. If that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
You saw him at a certain point, but then someone else saw him a lot later when you guys were gone.
Right. Okay. So the last time I personally laid eyes on Nolan was at like 3:00, and he was, front of the boat with the girl, and that's the last time I saw him. But there were, I've talked to somebody personally that saw Nolan at 6 o'clock.
Who did you talk to personally, sir? We need that name.
And someone, you know, we weren't even the last people to see Nolan.
Well, who was? Then spill the beans. You need to be telling then. Because this about to go in front of a grand jury. You need to be telling who was the... So who else then?
You know, once we left, there was still...
The last people that seen him was the ones that allegedly did something to him. And that shit on your lip got some shit on his lip, nigga. No puff puff. No puff puff, nigga. No. The fuck is that? That bitch is like an eject button.
Dozens on dozens on dozens of boats around us. And I mean, clearly we were not the last people to see Nolan.
So Warren, I'm going to ask you some very pointed questions. I mean, just straight out.
Okay.
I didn't come down here to, you know, do anything other but to get the truth, right, and for you to have a voice in this. Right. And the first thing I want to ask you is, did you kill Nolan?
Of course not.
Did you have anything to do with Nolan's death?
Of course not.
Why would I?
Absolutely not.
They say that you got...
Sure I did. Sure. Yeah, I had something to do. No, fool. Dumbass.
Guys deleted stuff out of his phone. Did you delete anything out of Nolan's phone?
No, of course not.
The mom acted like, or at least she portrayed on television, and the rumors are that you weren't really good friends with Nolan. Is that true or not?
Absolutely not. I hung out with Nolan probably like 3 days a week. I mean, seriously, at least. Some days my friends want to hang out every single day, and Nolan was always there. So,
and obviously people may see this and know the facts later, right, that you weren't able to go to the funeral, mm-hmm, or the memorial service.
Right.
Why didn't you go? What was that?
Well, I mean, with everything going on social media right now, with people saying the crazy things that they're saying, I would never want to take the attention off of Nolan and his family. They don't deserve that. And, you know, for own personal reasons, I mean, I've gotten thousands of death threats. My family's got thousands of death threats. And, you know, for my own safety, I'm not going to put my own health and safety at risk. You know, it breaks my heart that I can't go, and it hurt me more than anything. Because, you know, obviously I want to say my last goodbyes to one of my best friends. But, I mean, if I'm getting thousands of death threats with people saying they're going to kill me and do crazy things to my family and I couldn't bring myself to go because, you know, I got to put my own safety first. And even if that means, you know, missing my friend's funeral, I mean, it's horrible. And I wish I could have been there. But, you know, that's what's been going on, you know.
And, you know, you guys, I think this is the first time that you've publicly gave a statement about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And obviously you're doing it with me. We're going to put it out there for the world. Why did you choose to do it now? And why did you choose to not speak to anybody but me?
Right. Okay. Well, you know.
Well, first of all, I know it's safe. Just go ahead and say it. I knew it was safe. This was going to be a safe interview.
Officer Tatum, I've been watching you for a good while now, and you know, I think you're a great guy. You've kind of, ever since things got really hot, you've kind of been on my friends and I's side, and I really like that about you. I mean, I thought you were.
Oh yeah, I like the fact that you're not blaming us. That's why you're cool. Duh, nigga. Anybody who ain't blaming me for a crime that I probably did do. I don't know. I ain't gonna say that. Allegedly, right? That was wrong. I shouldn't have said that. Anybody who's taking my side when the world is blaming me for something that I possibly did or didn't do, right? But you're taking my side. Duh, nigga. Of course I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna come talk to you, nigga. You fuck with what I'm doing.
Very confident, well-spoken, and I really enjoyed that. And all my friends and I watch you. We all think you're great. We love your faith with the Lord. You know, we try to be closer and closer with the Lord every day. And so did Nolan, you know, and, you know.
Man, get the fuck. See, now, bro, I was trying to be quiet. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Niggas, we think you're great. We love your faith in the Lord. Tatum, how much did you pay for this drop, bro? How much did you give him for this drop? Look how he looking. Look how Tatum looking at him too. Look at his face. Look at him. Say it like I taught you now. Say everything I rehearsed. Say everything we rehearsed. Look at him. He looking at the teleprompter. You Omar Gooden Jr. looking ass nigga. Where your brother Cuban Gooden look? This nigga look like Omar Gooden right now. Look how serious he looking at, bro. Come on, man. He had to get a drop. I can't. That shit. Let me let the man give this man his credit for whatever reason, and I'm gonna stop hating. Niggas gonna call it hate.
Officer Tatum, I've been watching you for a good while now, and I think you're a great guy. You've kind of, ever since things got really hot, you've kind of been on my friends and I's side, and I really like that about you. I mean, I thought you were very confident and well-spoken, and I really enjoyed that. And all my friends and I watch you. We all think you're great. We love your faith with the Lord. We try to be closer and closer with the Lord every day, and so did Nolan. That we just really liked the way you spoke about us and how you took our side, not based off someone's agenda and, based off of race. Cause I mean, that's a horrible thing,
That's why we like you, because you're not pointing out what everybody else is pointing. You're soft. I'm not saying he's a soft man. I'm saying he's coddling the situation. It could be looked at as coddling, or from his perspective, he's waiting for the facts to come out. But a lot of people feel like Tatum is pandering, he's coddling, and it is what it is.
Was this about race? Did this have anything to do with race as far as from your perspective?
Absolutely not. I mean, Nolan's been a great friend of mine since 8th grade. Nolan isn't my only friend of color, and I have plenty of friends through high school and friends I have now, not just Nolan, who are black, Mexican. I've never looked at that, and none of my friends ever have. And if you do, that's disgusting.
And if you had a chance to, tell the world that.
Usually, listen, this time you have to understand it. I'm a person who says, if my white friends have to say I have a black friend, if they refer to me as a black friend, keep in mind, in your heart, just know that you're not my friend. I want you to know that in your heart. When you're not around me, if you're a Caucasian and you call yourself my friend and you're not around me and you refer to me as your black friend instead of just your friend, you just have to know in your heart you're not truly my friend, okay? But I'm saying that to say this. In this particular case, when race is of question, as much as I don't like hearing that separation in friendship, it's either we friends or we not, I got to give him a little leeway because it has to be explained right here. He has to kind of draw the line and make, or even if it's helping him, let's say he's guilty and it's helping to plead his case. I'm just alleging, right? He still had, and I'm alleging too, but he still has to state, in this case, it has to be stated. And if the shoe was on the other foot, because I don't say, oh, my Caucasian friend, my white friend, I just say my friend, my homeboy, my partner, my compadre, you know what I mean? And that's whether I'm around them or not. So I'm going to say, but in this case, even if the shoe is on the other foot, I understand the person specifying, oh, I have this many friends of this ethnicity.
That have painted this picture of you and your friends as being potential murderers of Nolan, white supremacists, racists. What would you want the world to know if you can summarize to them in a very short paragraph or a few sentences?
Yeah.
What would you want to say to them if you had the opportunity?
I would want to say to them that my family and I are praying for y'all. I can never bring myself to tell somebody that I'm going to kill them and that I'm going to, I've received and my family's received absolutely horrible threats about this. And, I want people to know that our faith with the Lord is stronger and means more to us than anything. And we all trust in the Lord, and for the Lord to reveal the truth. And I know that's what will happen because I have faith and my family has faith. But I want people to know that I'm praying for them. And if they want to speak hate and speak, these
The Lord, Lord, the Lord, the Lord. Did the Lord help you? Allegedly. Did the Lord help you drink that alcohol? Allegedly. Where was the Lord when y'all was partying at Horn Island? Huh? Was God in the building when y'all was partying and doing drugs and underage drinking? Was the Lord there then? I'm really just talking shit. There's no point to me saying that, y'all. I ain't gonna lie.
Horrible things, and
we all do it. All of us are hypocrites. Everybody party Saturday, go to church Sunday, and then cuss somebody out Monday. And that's even whether you believe or not. I'm just saying we all be hypocrites. That's just me being bullshit right now. But let's go.
I mean, you're obviously not in the right state of mind, and you need to work on yourself. It's a horrible thing, and but
that's the same thing I say about people who just come in and automatically hate based on race.
Race was never a thing between Nolan and I and my friends. I mean, I have friends in my friend group that are Mexican and mixed, black. I mean, that's never mattered. And I think it's just absolutely disgusting that people try to make this narrative out of something that it's absolutely not, first off, and out of something that they have zero facts about. Jackson County hasn't released any facts. There haven't been any facts about this case other than that, just timelines and stuff like that. But it's horrible that people have made this out to be something that it's absolutely not, and it's disgusting in my opinion.
Was Nolan the only black person on that island?
Absolutely not. I saw a lot of black people, and like I said, I mean, it's not pointed out or anything. I mean, I wasn't looking at that, but my buddy Trayson was out there, and he's mixed. Javon was out there. He's came out. He's mixed. I know a bunch of my friends that are black that were out there that day that I haven't even mentioned. I mean, Nolan was not the only black person out there.
What you was about to say? There was what was that N word about to come off your tongue?
My buddy
he said there
Trayson was out there, and he's mixed.
I'm just picking. But watch.
Javon was out there. He's came out. He's mixed. I know
there was
a bunch of my friends that are black that were out there that day that I haven't even mentioned. I mean, there was no.
No, I'm just bullshitting. I'm just playing, y'all. But hold on. What we got to do is put some respect on what keeps the tent rent paid, the lights on, and the green tea funded, and the content rolling.
Did y'all hear that?
Shout out to CJ Brewster. Let's go. Said, where's the smoke for Javon? He's the closest to Nolan. He was there, and he was one of the last people to see him. His mom nudged him during the interview. Why? He's supposed to be Nolan's best friend. CJ Brewster with the $9.99 Cash App Super Chat. I mean, the Super Chat, Super Step. I said Cash App. Let's go, CJ. Thank you. And once again, CJ posed the question, where is the smoke for Javon? He's the closest to Nolan. He was there and was one of the last people to see him. And his mom nudged him during the interview. Why? Because he's supposed to be Nolan's best friend. So, chat, where is the smoke for Javon? CJ Brewster wants to know. Let's go.
Nolan was not the only black person out there, by no means. I mean, there was thousands of people out there, white, Mexican, black, everyone,
And in the friend group, is Nolan the only black person in the friend group?
Absolutely not. My buddy Trayson's black. I have other friends of color. I mean, our friend group's very tight, and we have not a small group of guys, but we have 10 to 12 guys in my friend group, and we're all from Ocean Springs, and we grew up together. But Nolan is not the only black guy in my friend group by any means, and everybody knows that.
There's controversy around the CETO, right? You guys called it in.
Right.
They have that record of you guys, making that emergency call.
Right.
But then there's this, I guess, graphic of you guys traveling at a slow speed. Then all of a sudden you accelerate.
Right.
People are saying that that's an indication of something afoot or foul play going on in that timeline. What do you have to say to the naysayers who are mentioning that something must have happened, that you guys were going slow, then you accelerated all of a sudden?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely not. We got towed probably.
Who told you all? Why is it the person who told you all being questioned as well? The person who did the tow should be questioned because they should have an idea of how many people was on the boat, right? The person who told them, they would have an indication if they saw the only black friend or not, right? So they should be questioned as well.
A quarter mile, like I said, my buddy Bart drove his boat up next to ours after he pulled us out away from the island. And then
Bart. Did they question Bart? Did they already question Bart?
He towed us.
Oh, hold on. See, that's why. So you got Bart to do it. So if you had Bart to do this, what was the purpose of calling the Coast Guards? What was the purpose of making that emergency call and then telling them not to come? See, this is where the shit gets a little suspicious. You're taking on water. Never mind. I'm gonna let this play. We'll get to it. My bad.
A little more while we were trying to get the motor figured out. I mean, the motor would trim down. So then
I just asked if he's been questioned or not.
Eventually, the motor wouldn't trim down. And so eventually
Fool.
We figured out if you held the manual trim on the motor will stay in the water even when you start to accelerate. Because when my buddy would put the boat in gear and forward, the motor would come right back up. So it trimmed down, but then it'd come right back up when you went to go put it in forward and drive off. So yeah, we stopped at one point. My buddy pulled the plug out the boat, got back in the boat, the captain of the boat, got in the water, pulled the plug out the boat, got back in the boat and hit it. And like I said earlier, we all moved, transferred our weight to the front. So, because there was so much water in the back of the boat.
How can a person who say a man who can't even show his face has an opinion? You don't have your face on your YouTube channel. So you can't even type your opinion. What the fuck are you talking about? Get out of here.
Boat that when my buddy had it pinned out all the way.
You can't even type your opinion confidently. I have a very recognizable voice, a very recognizable dental pattern. People have come on here and seen me. Motherfucker, I took my mask off on the stream before. It's screenshots out there, you fool. You're the one hiding. You don't have a name or a face attached to your YouTube account. Rocket ships for you. Fuck out of here.
Trying to go as fast.
Quit asking about a mask.
As we can, and the boat was still sitting like this on the water.
I'm asking a dumbass, oh, how come you can have an opinion without showing your face? The same way you can type without showing yours and have a fucking opinion, dumbass. Get the fuck out of here.
None of it wouldn't have been planned out. So we had to move all the way to the front of the boat. Everybody had to get on the bow. And eventually we planed. Everybody got sat back. And when you're on plane and you're going, water starts coming out the boat. Like that's the whole reason he pulled the plug. Because when you come out the water and you're
stupid
on
as
plane
hell.
And the boat's level, water starts coming out the boat. So, I mean, that's why we came to a stop so he could jump in the water, pull the plug, and then we hauled in. There was no stopping because if you do stop, the water starts coming back in the boat because the plug's out. So
there's nothing nefarious there. It's just a formality of trying to unplug the boat and
absolutely not.
Get it docked properly.
Correct. I mean, we were just trying to solve the boat's issues because we wouldn't have ever gone anywhere if the boat wasn't figured out. So,
and Nolan being a really good friend of yours, really good friend of all of you guys, some of you guys have been accused of killing him. I mean, obviously he was.
Sorry for the profane language, guys. I didn't mean to use such profanity. Sorry for the outburst. My apologies. Let's remain civil. Let's remain grounded. Let's have fun. Smile, everybody.
Somebody you knew, somebody you spent a lot of time with all that has gone on, if Nolan was here, what do you think he would say about all this?
I think Nolan has Nolan's one of the best men I've ever met. I mean, he has an amazing heart. And like I said in the beginning, I mean, Nolan is one of the nicest and sweetest people I've ever met.
One of the nicest what? One of the nicest. Bro, I swear that's 2 times he was about to say. One of the nicest. Nolan was one of the nicest. Nicest what? People don't start with an N, fool. Oh, what you gonna say? Nolan's. Nolan's was one of the nicest. Nolan's. One of the nicest neighbors. Or was it one of the nicest?
I mean, he has an amazing heart. And like I said in the beginning, I mean, Nolan is one of the nicest and sweetest people I've ever met. I mean, seriously, he had no hate in his heart.
I might be
whatsoever.
tripping. Hold on.
I think if Nolan knew this,
we say about all this.
I think Nolan has one of the most, I mean, Nolan's one of the best men I've ever met. I mean, he has an amazing heart. And like I said in the beginning, I mean, Nolan is one of the nicest and sweetest people I've ever met. I mean, seriously, he had no hate in his heart whatsoever. I think if Nolan knew this.
My bad, y'all. My bad. I played too much. Let's go. I'm just saying, though. I'm just saying. I get tripped up over my words, too, so I understand. I'm one of those slow speakers. Sometimes I could just go, then other times I'm lost. So I get it. I'm just being a bullshitter. I'm sorry, y'all. I heard what I heard. The nicest neighbors I've ever met.
Amazing heart. And like I said in the beginning, I mean, Nolan is one of the nicest and sweetest people I've ever met. I mean, seriously, he had no hate in his heart whatsoever. I think if Nolan knew this was going on, he'd be sick to his stomach. I mean, Nolan hated all hate and arguing and drama. He didn't like any of that. So, I mean, I think if Nolan knew this was going on, he'd be very, very upset. I mean, it's horrible. If he knew his friends were getting these threats and, we were, felt threatened for our lives, I mean, Nolan would be traumatized if he was here, and if he knew that. I mean, he was a person of no violence, and, he had a really good heart. He would hate it.
You think your friendship with Nolan inspired you to want to speak out?
Of course. I mean, I know Nolan, and like I said, I've been really tight with Nolan since 8th grade, and he's a best friend of mine. He's like a brother, and Nolan's the type of guy to fight back for what's right and fight for the truth. And I know Nolan would tell me if he was here to fight back and make sure the truth is out and make sure your word is out, because that's what matters most.
So after all that's been said in this interview, do you have any theories about what could have possibly happened to Nolan?
Good question.
My buddies and I have talked about it, and like I said, I mean, I've been on the water my entire life. My friends have. It's not like we're unexperienced in this, but Nolan was my best friend, and he was.
Man, get what I got to do with the theory?
I said, I mean, I've been on the water my entire life. My friends have. It's not like we're unexperienced in this, but Nolan was my best friend, and he was my friend's best friends, and he was like a brother to me. And more than anything, and the thing that's most important is what happened to him. And I mean, I want to know just as much as anybody else. I mean, that's all. My friends haven't stopped talking about that. What happened, and just trying to figure it out. But I would never want to put it on somebody else because of the hate that I've received for just being out there around them, and my name getting brought up because I called the Coast Guard. I was the first one to call the Coast Guard. I mean, I don't.
Oh, wow. I was just about to say, what is the probability something happened to Nolan and he knows absolutely nothing? But during that call, unless there's other audio, during that call is when we heard the crazy stuff in the background. Allegedly, right? The is he dead? I mean, the oh, he's dead. with in the questionable tone, the alleged scream of the name Nolan, and then the wake the F up or get the F up. That unless there's other audio. See, I was gonna ask, what is the probability of him having absolutely nothing to do? Wow, I can't shoot you no bail, my man.
Don't know, and I want to know.
I can shoot you a gram. No, look at that nose. I know for sure he'll pay $75 for a gram. Look at that, rolling, looking at
More than anybody, I mean,
allegedly.
My friends and I are have been wondering this for a while, and we just want to know as much as anybody else what happened to him. But I would never want to sit here and blame anybody else and put this on anybody else because of the hate and death threats that my family and my friends have received. It's horrible, and I would never want someone else to experience that.
Yeah, especially if there's no evidence to it.
Exactly.
So I got two more things I want to address directly. Mm-hmm. It's been said out there that you guys immediately delete your social media, lower it up, as if you were in some type of fear that you would be implicated in this. What do you say to that?
I mean, of course we lowered up, and of course, I deleted my social media. I was getting death threats before anything ever came out because I was the one that called the Coast Guard. I mean, people put this all on me because I was the one that called. I was the one that was, worried. My friends were just as well. I mean, of course I deleted all my social media. I was getting insane death threats, like stuff I couldn't even believe 2 days after. And, we went straight to the police. I wanted the police to come and ask questions. I wanted them to know and have all of my information. And, I mean, people were accusing me of murdering my best friend. It's sick. I mean, just because of race. I mean, it's disgusting. It makes me sick to my stomach. I mean,
if it comes out that he has absolutely nothing to do with the death of Nolan Wells, do y'all now have understanding for what he's saying right here? Or am I just on some bullshit? F the question, is it F the question I'm asking, or do we have to consider, because the evidence, no one has been convicted, right? Everything is speculation. They saying cap in the chat. All right, so I'm gonna let it play. Thumbs down? Okay. All right, they saying, all right, I'm tripping. He said no. They saying he killed. Uh-oh. All right. So F what I'm talking about. All right, for sure. Let's let it play.
It's sick. I mean, just because of race. I mean, it's disgusting. It makes me sick to my stomach. I mean, I got off of social media because there were people saying insane things to me and my family, and I just couldn't sit there and look at it. I mean, that's it.
And Warren, thank you so much, man, for being bold and courageous, for telling your story. The purpose of me doing this and flying down here is because I wanted to know for myself. I always felt that the narrative that was out there wasn't quite complete. Mm-hmm. It seems like there was a rush to judgment. And I know that you could have taken the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm not going to say anything. I'm afraid for my life. And I'm just not going to put my neck out there. Right. But I applaud you and appreciate you for stepping up, for doing what Nolan would be proud of you doing. And that is putting the word out there and not letting the naysayers run with the narrative.
Of course.
And you being a young guy, I'm much older than you. Mm-hmm. I could take the punches.
Right.
I love dishing it out.
Mm-hmm.
But for you as a young man to really put your neck out there, to stand up for your friends and stand up for Nolan is very honorable. And I appreciate you doing this interview with me.
Well, I appreciate you. I mean, you being here and flying down has meant a lot. And I mean, I just wanted to get my story out there because I know that's what Nolan would want me to do. And I want the truth to come out, and I pray that the good Lord reveals the truth to everybody. So Thank you, Brandon.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
How y'all feel about that? How y'all feel about that? CJ Brewster, who did Jason do his interviews with? CJ Brewster, who did Jason go do his interviews with? So I can look it up. I want to see that. CJ Brewster, let me know who Jason, where the Jason interview is. Hold on, y'all. I got to show some MF and love. I ain't show no love to the chat, y'all. I've been letting this thing play. Super duper salute to y'all first and foremost. I know y'all heard the noise. Y'all about to hear it again. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Did y'all hear that?
We got to show some love to the people that keep the tent rent paid. Keep the tent rent paid and the damn green tea funded and the content rolling.
Did y'all hear that? Grit money.
Shout out to y'all. Mike from the Ville with the $4.99 super chat, super step. CJ Brewster with the $9.99 super chat, super step. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. Y'all help keep the lights on. Mask on, creep silent, the lights on. And left your block quiet. Let me shout out the top 10 real quick. Top 10. Number 1, we got CJ Brewster. Number 2, we got Mike from the Ville. Number 3, we got Dial Smith. Number 4, we got Glenda Ard. Number 5, we got Slim Jones McEasy. Number 6, we got XO Males. Number 7, we got ATO Grind Doctor Profile. Oh, Grinder Profile. My bad. ATO Grinder Profile. Is Grinder, ain't that a weird app? They got Nalaja Fabian. There you go. I got it. Young Salt 93. No. Nalaja Fabian was number 8. Young Salt 93 was number 9. And Mongoose 7490 was number 10. Let's go. And then 11 and 12, because I see them. They're the homies. Number 11, FBA Judah. And number 12, Nurse Lady T, Mod Gang, Mod Squad. Let's go. Salute to y'all. Let me get off in the chat, show some love before we continue with this. CJ Brewster, I need that. Damn, my scarf. Motherfucker said a sock. It's like a sock to you, but it's a scarf, nigga. I mean, it's been hot as hell in the tent, nigga. You got a sock around your neck. You got your mom's gym sock around your neck. That's crazy. My mama feet ain't that long. Don't get me wrong. She wears size 13 in men's, but that sock ain't that damn long. God damn it. My mama do wear 13 and man, she'll kick you from across the room. I kick you from across the room. Shut your ass up. Sorry, mama. Anyway. Glenda R says, never give up. We built Ford truck. Ford tough. Let's go. Damn, Drill Sergeant says Ford sucks. Ty Scott, shouting out Supreme, says, I hear you, bro. Brandon Children says, give it up. Ateo, you funny as hell, Glenda R, the only way it will come out is you tell it like it happened. Y'all Supreme says, don't let them lie about slavery being 200 years. How the F is that true when it's alive and true now to this day? Linda R says, hi, and Drill Sergeant says, had to get him one so he could be in the Illuminati. That was his initiation ritual. Damn, who had to do that? I feel sorry for whoever do that. CJ Bruce is supposed to say Javon. Okay, with that video, who did that interview? CJ? Young Saul says, no other friend wanted to get interviewed? Right. Ateo says, CJ, I haven't seen it yet. Thanks for sharing. Shit, I'll go watch it all. We can go skim through it right now. Facts, Saul, where the other friends? Glenda says they should already be in jail off top, proving innocence. Ty Scott said after 200 years of racism, slavery still exists. Garrett Kamal says, really? Wow, people believe this. Ateo says they all guilty. Shanita Reed says, let's see the email he got paid to do that interview. No question. I'm pretty sure it sounded like he got paid because he gave Tatum a drop. He said, Tatum, I mean, we watch you all the time. You know, we watch all the time. Your young ass ain't interested in the shit Officer Tatum talking about until he started talking about y'all. The hell out of here. We're going to go ahead and watch. Let's get to Tatum talking back and forth with this other guy on Stephen A. Smith. Let me shout out some more in the chat. I see Brandon Childers. I see Mongoose, Moreno Valley, Mike from the Ville, FB. Damn, I scrolled. My bad. I know his name though. FBA Judah, Moreno Valley, CJ Brewster, Ateo, Y'all Supreme, Ty Scott, King Vari, Ashley Beckham. Is that beautiful? Damn, I wrote beautiful one. Toodles, Paul Cat, Glenda Art, Nurse Lady T, what up, what up? Slim John, who? Nikki Too Gorgeous, Dial Smith, Toodles again. Okay, that's far opposite to let me go. Ty Scott says the interview was planned very carefully and the interviewer was selected very carefully. CJ Brewster said, okay, he did the one with TMZ and another one with his mom and Nolan's mom. Let's go look for it. What's up, LaShawn Singleton? Hold on, let's go look for it. Mike Vanderbilt says, motherfucker can't convince me America ain't racist. It's always from the side of the perpetuates. It's always from the side that perpetuates it, trying to say it don't exist. Some of y'all counterparts can recognize it. Why can't you? Slim Jones said, I'm sorry, FBA. A lot of the speculation is sickening to me. What if these boys did nothing wrong? I'm not ready to convict anyone yet. Yeah, I'm not convicting anyone. I will always speak just in my opinion. I will say I have suspicion in my opinion, but suspicion is not fact. Suspicion does not prove anything when it comes to it does not add up to the legal evidence, regardless of how you may feel, no matter how much we may speculate or how strongly we may feel about something. Oh, that has to be. It doesn't have to be anything until we have the proof. So let's not convict. Let's be careful, guys. Let's be responsible adults. And let's not move off of emotion. Right? Miss Val, I see you. Let's go. LaPonce Wade says he does not speak for the people. I repeat, does not speak for the people. I agree. I don't think no one man can speak for the entirety of any ethnicity, especially when it comes to black, because of our dynamics. There's so much separation within our dynamics. We still got the light skin, dark skin thing going on. We still got the I'm African. I'm not African. I'm American. No, I'm not African. I'm African American. No, I'm just American. You know, I don't identify as the word black because black is associated with dark and demonic. And you know what I mean? We still separated so much because of that. So we can't have one person can't just speak for the entirety. Because nigga, we can't get it together on our own. We can't figure out what the hell we feel like on our own. So one person, especially Tatum, especially someone who seemingly, I don't know him, and I haven't seen the entirety of his content. I've only recently, within the past, I think, around the Rick Child case time, or Rick Child Carmelo time is when I became aware of him. And it only seems like most of the time he is opposed to the majority of what the, I guess, general idea of melanated thought would be. He is usually opposed to that. So he can't speak for melanated Americans if he's generally opposed to all the general consensus of melanated Americans. Long story long, let's go though.
There, but at this point, Dr. Roger Mitchell, who did the independent autopsy from the family, has not been able to confirm any sense of foul play as of yet. That was undecided or undecisive. That does not mean that foul play may not have occurred. It just means that the autopsy that was conducted by the family did not show that conclusive.
This is civil rights attorney Charles F. Coleman.
He saw some trauma to
Junior.
some potential trauma to Nolan Wells's head. That was not something that he was able to explain as being the result of foul play. And we have yet to hear the state's autopsy and what they found and what their findings were. You may recall, and listeners may recall, that initially the sheriff's office said that they had no reason to suspect that foul play was afoot. And what I would say that this autopsy confirms from the family is that while that cannot be certainly confirmed, it still can't be ruled out. So finally, there are 60 witnesses that have been interviewed in the course of this investigation by the sheriff's office. There's likely going to be a presentation to the grand jury, and we don't know what the toxicology report will show from Nolan Wells because much of that is in the hands of the state. But as of right now, this is where things stand. And as a former prosecutor, I want to know what the state's autopsy is going to say and what are the witness accounts that they are going to put forward in the grand jury.
Officer Tatum, you personally interviewed, you traveled to Mississippi, from my understanding, to personally interview one of the young men who left the island without Nolan. Why should the public trust whatever account is coming from them right now, in your estimation, based on what you've learned? First things first, I shouldn't say that.
Did y'all see
first
the
things
video
first,
with J.
what did you deduce from the conversation you had from one of the friends that was with Nolan Wells? What did you take away from that you'd like the public to know?
Well, Stephen A., I want to make sure this is clear. I actually spoke to all the boys that were being accused. I spoke to family members. I spoke to also their attorneys.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I didn't know that. Before we get to that, wait a minute. Let me see about this. I'm trying to find the interview with Javon.
Vaughn on TMZ.
Where's the Javon? Does anybody have a link for the Javon interview on TMZ?
And they say at this point they have not seen any evidence of a crime, but as
everyone from Horn Island,
Never
mind. I want to say
with
100 people.
And that day on the island.
Okay, yeah. So it probably was around, I want to say around like 100 people. Like everyone from Horn Island, everyone of Horn Island, like that live on the coast, were there pretty much. Obviously, it was older people. There's a lot of people there, like honestly. But I seen Nolan whenever I got out there around. I got out there around 11 o'clock. I had walked down to their boat. I had seen him, and it was like a whole bunch of people. I didn't expect it. So I seen Nolan. As soon as I seen Nolan, he's like, "Hey, bro, what you doing?" Like, "I love you, dog. I love you." And then we were just hanging out, chilling, just having a good time. And then so around, I want to say around 3:40, 4 o'clock, an altercation had happened between one of my other friends. I don't want to say his name, but he had got an altercation. So I went and checked on him for about 20 minutes, 20 to 15 minutes. I came back. Nolan's boat and the people that he was with were gone. But the thing about the two boats that I said, there were two boats tied up. So therefore, I didn't know which boat Nolan exactly was on because they were both tied up.
Javon, have you seen the video that's been going around social media where people think that they're hearing an argument between people and they're wondering whether or not Nolan is one of the people in that argument? You just described that you had another friend, not Nolan, another friend who was got into a dispute. Is that video the other argument that you were talking about?
Yes.
So, but is that Nolan in the video?
I can't tell. It's too far away. But in that video, I feel like the voices are too clear. Like from the side, it's too clear for it to be that far away, for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in the altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it. So,
describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was that about?
Bro, you know why this situation like really just a vibe and to it's talk about it. Something
like mad, like they were
even decided to speak to TMZ for real.
Just very hostile. Like he was like really like mad. Like they were trying to, like the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
The parents on the boat were trying to. Got it.
Yeah,
but there were a lot of adults out there as well as young people.
Hold on, wait a minute. The parents on the boat was trying to get who out? Hold on, I just missed that.
And I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get Nolan arguing. And then also side, it's too clear for it to be that far away, for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in the altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it. So
describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was that about?
Bro,
just very hostile. Like he was just like really like mad. Like they were trying to, like the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
The parents on the boat were trying to. Got it.
Yeah, but
So
that was
there were a lot of adults out there as well as young people.
Yeah.
When you say the parents were trying to get him out on a boat, you had mentioned 2 boats. Are those 2 boats different boats?
Different boats.
They're different boats. They were on down. They weren't exactly by Nolan and whoever's boat he was on. They were on down.
You're talking to a bunch of people, I'm sure, who knew Nolan and maybe who were on the island. What's the buzz? What are people saying with you and your friends?
I mean, obviously, it's hard.
What kind of can was that? Was that a cut water? Was Nolan drinking a cut water or something?
With you and your friends.
I mean, obviously, it's hard. Like, I post my friend Nolan just to have, show everyone that, how good of a person he was and try to, bring closure to, whatever the hell happened. This hurts. Like, I've never lost someone this close to me. And, for people to say that I was the last to see him and keep twisting and turning my words and say that how did, his closest friend would have knew his password. So they're trying to say that, paint me a picture to being, the reason this is happening. I promise you guys, if I was the last person to see Nolan, I seen him by himself, he would have been home with us today. He would be with us today. I would still be able to talk to my friend every single freaking day. And so it really it hurts me so much, hearing people say these things. But at the same time, people are just going off what they hear. So it's hard, honestly.
You're saying that when you posted about Nolan, a lot of the comments are getting...
Hold on, y'all. He ain't crying either, though.
Are people berating you, saying that you should know more about what happened to him?
Yeah. When I feel like that shouldn't be the case because I also had a completely different ride out there. He had his own people. I mean, he hangs out with these guys almost all the time. So I'm thinking he's fine. I'm not thinking nothing of it.
And you never heard of Nolan having any...
He said hangs out with these guys. He didn't specify they were all friends. The other guy says my good friend Javon, and he says he was with these guys. He didn't mention no names. He didn't say my other group of friends. He wrote out with my other friends.
Kind of an argument with these guys before? You never heard anything like that?
No, sir.
What are people saying? I mean, these guys,
actually,
some of them have gotten lawyers.
Well, I'm curious if the police have, I know they said they're still investigating. Did any investigators ever speak to you about what you saw that day?
No, sir.
That's odd.
I don't see why the cops would have to talk to me. I mean, obviously, I had said my plea, because whenever I had talked to the people at Sunheard, it was whenever, the body was discovered and the autopsy people and all those people were there.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm surprised. Because you knew Nolan well. And you knew that he was friends with these guys who were the last ones to be around him before his body was found. And I would think they would at least want to know, hey, just the things we're asking.
Right.
Did you ever hear of any of this stuff? It's odd to me.
Just to gather information.
Yeah, that the cops wouldn't have contacted you. Yeah.
It's not odd. Y'all playing it real smooth, man. It seems like they honestly did not want to or care to solve this case for real.
Like I said, I have nothing to hide. That's my boy, and I want him to find justice.
Situation itself is crazy,
and that's fine. I'm completely fine with that. Like I said, I have nothing to hide. That's my boy, and I want him to find justice. This whole case thing, whatever, this whole situation, and none of this adds up to me. So it's really hard, for people to just keep on saying things.
Hold up, that's deep. Nothing adding up to somebody who was round. Just makes the situation 10 times worse.
Things when none of it adds up, honestly.
So one of the things that I'm sure, Javon, you've seen has been a big part of this story, people making the point that, at least in the photos that we initially saw, that Nolan was the only African-American kid who was out there, at least on that boat. Do you think, having been there on the island with this large group of people, that race plays a factor in whatever happened here?
I don't want to answer that. I don't want to answer that question. I wouldn't say I wouldn't want to answer that question. I mean, obviously we go to Ocean Springs, we're going to have white friends. So that's, I mean, I guess it's pretty normal down here, but.
Yeah. I mean, and I hear you. If that's, I guess you're saying that it's normal. It's not out of place to be a black teen in that area and that you have white friends, right? That's not uncommon is what you're saying.
I'm sure every black person has white friends somewhere,
But did I guess the question is, do you all deal with racism though? Why do you not want to speak? Have you?
So I wouldn't say that it's a whole race thing, but
have you dealt with racism? his hesitation to answer that question, his elusiveness makes me think that he knows something about some racist events that may have occurred prior. Not saying that they had to occur that day, or he knows that there's a feeling, an undertone, and things have been said before. He knows. He,
right?
In my opinion,
not uncommon is what you're saying. A normal, I
wouldn't want to answer. I don't want
group of people. Both. Do you think, having been there on the island with this large group of people, that race plays a factor in whatever happened here?
I don't want to answer that. I don't want to answer that question. I wouldn't say like.
I could be wrong. This is just my opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to answer that question. I mean, obviously, we go to Ocean Springs. We're gonna have white friends, so like, that's. I mean, I guess it's pretty normal down here, but.
Yeah, I mean, and I hear you. If that's, I guess you're saying that it's normal. It's not out of place to be a black teen in that area and that you have white friends, right? That's not on.
That's basically like asking somebody who lives in a high crime area to come out on their porch and tell you what they saw in like a gang homicide investigation. That's like the equivalent of asking somebody who lives in a high crime area, a gang infested area, to, hey, can you come out on your porch and tell me what you saw in this homicide that happened the next house over, right here in front of you in the front yard? Like, come on, bro.
Uncommon is what you're saying.
I'm sure every black person has white friends somewhere, So I wouldn't say that it's
just my opinion,
a whole race thing, but it's just like, obviously they're going to paint it as that because none of this adds up. So
got it. Okay.
All right, Javon.
Thank you so much.
Very sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
Man.
That's crazy, man. Let me see what some of the chat says. Lynette says Javon has to live there. Ateo LOL. Soldier Heart says it's Mississippi, let's be real. Ty says because he has to live around it. Glennar says, baby, just say they told you. You better not say anything or you will be next. Glenda says, excuse me. Hound Gang says people in chat's more worried about than his friend. That's crazy. Lynette says he's half white, so he has a white parent and relatives. FBA Judah says, if no one did anything, why do you want to find justice? That's what I keep. It's what India Ari say? The beautiful, intelligent, talented India Ari, what does she say? It's the little things. Dollars and Cents says it's also normal to deal with racism in Mississippi. Yarborough says sounds like Nolan had a bunch of haters around him. Frenemies, not friends.
Why should the public trust whatever account is coming from them right now, in your estimation, based on what you've learned? First things first, I shouldn't say that. First things first, what did you deduce from the conversation you had from one of the friends that was with Nolan Wells? What did you take away from that you'd like the public to know?
Well, Stephen A., I want to make sure this is clear. I actually spoke to all the boys that were being accused. I spoke to family members. I spoke to also their attorneys. It's just that the one young man had the, I wouldn't say courage, because others had reasons why they didn't want to come on the camera, but he was able to come on the camera, and I interviewed him. And I also interviewed another young man who was black, who was there, who had his own personal accounts of what happened. I'm not asking people to believe or not believe. I just wanted to get people the information. So nobody had heard from the young boys. Nobody had heard their accounts, and a lot of misinformation was put out there, some intentionally, some maybe not intentionally, but it was very detrimental and not conducive for the investigation into Nolan Wells' death. It was punitive. They came out and started with race. It had to be something nefarious because these boys are white for any other reason. So I wanted to go out and hear the full story. And what I deduced from the interview and talking to everybody is that these young boys had nothing to do with what ended up happening to Nolan Wells. And also they were best friends. I mean, these kids had so many pictures, so many text messages of them being closer to Nolan than any other friend group. And also one thing that shocked me was that this was an island, not secluded, not an island with 5 or 6 people on it. It was an island where there was thousands of people there, hundreds of boats. And also a lot of people could verify the statements that was made from some of these young men. So I really wish that we could have started at a point to say, what happened to Nolan Wells? Let's work together as a community. Let's talk to these young men, talk to other people, and let's find out what happened to Nolan instead of jumping the race.
Officer Tatum, how do you know that it was misinformation that was put out there? How did you come to the conclusion that something was misinformation? Explain that.
Well,
Is it just
I knew it was,
according to their account or something else?
No, initially I knew it was hogwash because when Al Sharpton and them got on TV, they automatically made an inference to say, well, it was something that had to happen because these kids were white. It was one white kids with one black boy. I mean, that there's no evidence to project that unless you believe every white person is nefarious in their dealings with black people. And so I thought that was suspicious on his face. And then they said that Nolan was the only black kid. He was not the only black kid. Many of his black friends were also at the island with him. So, you know, some of those things that started to come out, I knew that they were not being truthful about what happened.
Charles, your thoughts, your response to what Officer Tatum just said.
I don't necessarily know that the initial statements about Nolan being with some of his white friends is entirely afactual. I also don't know that it is a nefarious statement in as much as these are facts. He was with a number of different white boys or a number of different boys who are white. I think that the problem with what Officer Tatum has just pointed out is that there is an underpinning of race when you're having a conversation about the types of things that happen and have happened to black boys and black people in Mississippi, such that it cannot be summarily dismissed. I did not necessarily jump to any conclusion, but the history of what race relations have been in Mississippi and how we have not necessarily been safe has caused me to take a special look at this case. It doesn't mean that I'm accusing anyone of anything. It doesn't mean that I do not believe in finding the process. But at the same time, I am not going to ignore the facts, which you just pointed out. These are facts. He may have been with other black people, but we have seen the pictures. We have seen the photos. There were a number of people who were gathered out there for the July 4th holiday, but Nolan Wells was with 3 boys who happened to be white. Those are facts.
He was with, but the thing is that it's facts without context. He was with more than just 3 white boys. That's the problem. There was over 20, 30 kids that got on 3 boats, and they all went to the island together. They didn't just travel with Nolan and just these 3 boys. Many of the boys that they're accusing, including Warren, wasn't even on the boat with Nolan when Nolan went out to the island. So some of those things were mischaracterizations of what actually happened. And the thing is that I don't think it's fair to say, because history has shown in part that white people or black people have had injustices, that all of a sudden you project that into a new situation. Black people have done.
Wait a minute. Don't people's feelings about melanated people, don't their personal feelings and past history and all this other shit always get injected into a new situation? Isn't that how we have officers taking the lives and people assuming that people who are just running in a neighborhood are stealing, and then they hunt them down and take their life because they're bringing something from a past or a feeling from a past and injecting it in a new situation? So basically, you came to the aid, and this is no offense, but take it how you want to. You came to the aid of these white teens because in your eyes, you feel they're being falsely accused because of their skin color. My only question is, have you ever come to the aid of any melanated people, teens, adults, otherwise, anybody melanated that you felt was being accused strictly because of their ethnicity or the color of their skin? Have you stepped up and been the voice for and helped and spoken for any of those people? If not, I got a problem, brother.
Nefarious things to other black people. Did that mean that you automatically jump to saying, oh, black people must be wrong in this situation? You know, because he had his black friends there too. And why nobody's questioning them? Why nobody's saying, why didn't the black friends rescue him? What did the black kids know about Nolan? And many of them said that they saw him last.
How many black kids were there? Besides the one dude that looked like Tiger who sang, ooh, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. That nigga sound like Tiger. That nigga look like Tiger. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Taste. She could get a taste. Taste. She could get a taste. Anyway, what other black friends were there? Everybody needs to be questioned. Black, white, male, female, dog. Everybody needs to be questioned. I never said it has to be the one. You see, the entirety of this time, what do I keep asking? I keep saying, y'all, what if this young man had absolutely nothing to do with it, and we're sitting here judging the way that he's acting in his interview with Tatum, with an assumption of guilt, when really he's a young man dealing with loss of his friend and allegations of a possible homicide or foul play of his friend. I asked this question. I always have to have, it always has to be another perspective. It can't just be a flock, everybody just going one way. You'll never get to the truth that way. Even if I do feel like there's some foul play, nigga, I wanted everybody quit. I said that from the beginning.
The white boys had left at 4:30. So I just think that the race should never be interjected. Nolan's friends.
I can't say that. I say it should be in question as well, but it shouldn't be the only until we find out what happens. But it should be a question. Question everybody, whites included, blacks included, everybody. Don't just, hold on now. Don't somebody, it shouldn't be, it is a factor, fool. It's Mississippi. Historically, what are you talking about?
Has told me, and they proved to me that they were really close to him and they were some of his best friends. They said Nolan would have been incredibly upset at the way people are framing his death and going after his friends with no evidence.
Look how he looking.
Well, here's the thing. Hold on, Charles.
Look, he couldn't wait. Stephen A. Hold on. Charles was ready. He looked the whole look. He ready. Let me get this mother.
Would have been incredibly upset.
Let me at him. Scrappy dude. Look, he ready.
The way people are framing his death and going after his friends with no evidence.
Hold on, Charles.
Well, here's the thing. Hold on, Charles. Hold on,
Charles. And hold on, chat. We got to celebrate this.
Did y'all hear that? Grit money.
Let's go. Miss Duval with the $2 super chat super step says Tatum on Tatum's words. Quote, and I quote, "Give me the white only pies, please, boss. Please, massa. Please, sir. Can I have them white only pies?" Miss Duval with a $2 super chat, super step, super duper salute to you. Let's go. She said Tatum want them pies. But y'all know what? Not only have y'all aggravated the algorithm with 50 likes, but we done broke the glass with 104. Super duper salute. Y'all so aggravating, but y'all so appreciate it. And we done broke the damn glass. Let's go. Let's go. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. How the we get a whole 100 likes?
You probably.
How we get a whole 100 likes? Let's go. Shout out y'all, man. Shout out y'all. Let's go, man. Most aggravating chat in the game. Most appreciated chat in the world. Let's go. 100 likes on deck. Aggravated the algorithm. Done broke the glass. And y'all so aggravating. Keep them likes going. Keep them likes going, y'all. We're going to keep this content rolling. Thank you, Miss Duval, for that moment to celebrate with the super step. That gave us time to celebrate and show love. And, you know what I'm talking about? Because we reached them milestones. I do want to read the chat, y'all. I do want to read the chat, but I want to let some more of this play. We'll get to it. I promise y'all. Let's go.
I would say this to you all.
Would have been incredibly upset at the way people are framing his death and going after his friends with no evidence.
Well, Officer Tatum, hold on, Charles. I would say this to you, Officer Tatum. I get where you're coming from. And by the way, I appreciate the context and I appreciate the reporting on your part, because numerous reports that I had read was talking about how he was the only black kid there. He was a black kid with a few white boys, and you articulating that fact is very, very important. I think that's important and fair to point out. But what do you say to folks that will ask this kind of a question? He's on a boat, he's on an island, and according to numerous reports, he talked about staying behind and traveling back with a different set of company. Yet his car keys and his phone was left on a boat that he had traveled to those guys with. So what teenager do you know is saying he's staying someplace, but he's going to leave his car keys and his phone on the boat with the guys that he arrived at the island with. That does seem a bit suspicious, particularly when the guy's mother, Nolan Wells' mother, had to use some app to locate the phone, and it was something that wasn't given back. These are reports. I'm not pretending to know, Officer Tatum. These are what the report said. What do you say to that?
And this is where I feel like Benjamin Crump and them should be sued for them putting out this information without facts. Let me point the facts out. Without context, it sounds bizarre. But when you put it in the context that a lot of people left their phones on the boat that left. Many kids came to get their phone after they left the lake. Nolan was with a girl. It's not shocking that Nolan would have said, hey, man, you guys have to leave, because they had to leave in an emergency situation. It wasn't like they had time to prep and everything. The boat was sinking, so they had to go. And they told Nolan, get on the boat, get on the effing boat, man, let's go. And he like, no, I'm finna hang out with this girl. I saw evidence of that, and others who had sent messages that I read that said that they asked Nolan to go and he didn't want to go. Now, a lot of people left their phones on the boats because they're sitting in chest deep water, and it's a bunch of people out there. The reception is not very good, so most people did not have their phone with them. Now, the phone and the keys situation, people need to understand the context. Nolan never brought his keys with him because they were on a boat driving 7 miles out to an island. His keys had always been at the residence where his car was. So when the guys go back, they text Nolan's mother. This is where it ticks me off. They showed me a phone call where immediately the first phone call that was made concerning Nolan was Warren called Nolan's mom, and she hung up the phone on him the first time because she didn't know who he was. The second call, he told her, hey, Nolan haven't come back. Do you know? Have you heard from him? And then they called the Coast Guard. So his mother was very much aware that they had Nolan's phone. His mother did not have to track the phone through Life 360. His mother didn't come get the phone. Another parent of a black kid who was out there with Nolan came to get her son's phone and Nolan's phone. So why didn't Al Sharpton or any of them ask these boys what happened, have them show evidence, and then present it to the public?
Did y'all hear that?
Let's do Duval. Let's go with that $2 super chat, super step. She says Tatum is not an officer. Boot licking idiot. Damn. Miss Duval don't rock with Officer Tatum, bro. I don't think a lot of people do. Matter of fact, it's time to make a new poll.
And it's because I think they wanted the race bait instead of trying to find out what happened to Nolan.
Do you know? Hold on, Charles. Do you know whether or not Al Sharpton and those guys had asked to talk to?
Appreciate you, Miss Duval. Much gratitude. Thank you for helping keep the lights on, the tent rent paid, and the content rolling.
Hold on, Charles. Do you know whether or not Al Sharpton and those guys had asked to talk to the kids, and the kids refused to talk to them? Do you know whether
they
there's
told
any
me
truth to that?
They told me that they haven't heard anything from Al Sharpton or anybody that tried to contact them. This is what they told me. Now, They showed me messages where parents had communicated and reached out to Benjamin Crump, his team, and said, we would love to communicate with you guys. Any questions you have, we want to talk to you guys so you can get the context. Also, they messaged Nolan's mother multiple times about communicating and saying, hey, if you need anything, if you want to talk, we can give you the context of what happened. And nobody reached out to these boys. And I saw evidence of this, which is what frustrated me about this in the first place.
Charles, floor is yours.
So here's the thing, Officer Tatum, we're not going to litigate the facts on here from one side of someone who's had an opportunity to talk to a sample size of people who were involved in this investigation. You and I know just as well that the real issue here is that the people who conducted the investigation, i.e. the Mississippi Sheriff's Department, who've talked to over 60 witnesses in this case, have not yet presented that case or their findings to a grand jury, and they've been extremely tight-lipped with respect to what they have found and what it is that they know. Where I'm going with this is, regardless of who you may have spoke to, who Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton may have spoken to, what information they have had, we are all trying to piece this together. And so it is equally as unfair to present a certain set of facts as if this is the final context of things, when in reality, we don't know. What I will say about the overall situation is that for me, as a civil rights attorney, I am looking at this and I am saying that there needs to be a greater sense of transparency from the Sheriff's Department, because they are the ones who have spoken to most of the parties who have been involved in this case. They've conducted over 60 witness interviews. They've done the toxicology report. They have the autopsy. So these are the people who are truly from an information place to give the public the most accurate picture. So I am not calling what you're putting out misinformation, but what I am saying is that that is just an equally biased and slanted point of view in the opposite way because it lacks the full context. So because of that, let me finish. It's disingenuous intellectually, number one, to dismiss the notion of race, because that is choosing to ignore the history in America that we have faced. Number two, it's equally disingenuous to play a whataboutism to try and substitute the notion of black on black crime, which is a complete misnomer as to why we should not focus, or at least note, I won't even say focus, at least note the color issues that are at play with respect to what could or might have happened to Nolan Wells. Again, not necessarily being accusatory. And it's just as disingenuous for you to go further and say, well, we must assume, or it seems like Crump and Sharpton and everyone else was projecting the notion of race. That may have been your interpretation, which I cannot necessarily argue with, but it is just as problematic for you to suggest the polar opposite of that when none of us have conducted this full investigation.
Hold on, y'all. Y'all might not want to hear it, but guess what? We got to make sure we do it. Shout out Miss Duval once again for that $2 super chat, super step. She says Tatum motto, if it's not white, it's not white. I can't even read. She said if it's not white, it's not right. That's Tatum's motto. I messed it all up. How I do that?
Smack! Who is this nigga?
My bad, Miss Duval. I blew it. Shout out to you, man. Super duper. Hey, man. In the meantime, man, just give it up for the ladies real quick.
Give it up for the ladies!
Salute, man. Salute, salute, salute. Let's keep it rolling. Hold on. Mike from the Ville, let's go. Mike from the Ville, shout out to the fellas. Mike from the Ville, let's go. Mike from the Ville say, with the 199 super chat, super step says, F Officer Potatum salad with raisins. Steph said, Potatum. Let's go. Shout out to you, man. Thank you. Much gratitude. Thank y'all. Much gratitude. Y'all keep the tent rent paid and the content rolling.
Who is this nigga?
Let's get back to it. Super duper salute, y'all. Thank y'all.
You have a limited sample size. I have a limited sample size. The public has been wrought with misinformation. So for me, the real issue here is the lack of transparency from the sheriff's office to give the public a complete picture.
Well, let me tell you why I disagree with you fully. As a former police officer, and I was a PIO, I dealt with all of these things. The police department is not an injustice. When you say there's a lack of communication or transparency, the police department cannot put this information out there when you still have suspects at large. If they go and release some of this information and show their hands of what they know and don't know, then potential suspects will begin to destroy evidence. They'll start hiding. They'll start cleaning stuff. You don't want to give that information out to the public until you know for a fact that you've been able to communicate with every suspect that's out there. If you start putting out the autopsy prematurely, and it shows blunt force to the head, strangulation to the neck, then the people who have done this are going to make sure they hide the murder weapon. They're going to make sure they get their stories together and say, no, I didn't hit him in the back of the head. You don't want to.
Ain't that what it seems like is going on now? It's been a lot of time given so people can get their stories together. And what may be the quote unquote weapon, right? Let's say it was an accident. Let's say they did hit the gas, the acceleration on the boat, and he hit his head or something like that, right? Let's just say. You never know. So what you're saying, Tatum, also works in favor of the opposing views. And also, shout out to Miss Duval once again, super stepping, ladies going crazy. Did y'all hear that?
Did y'all hear that?
Did y'all hear that?
Rip money.
Super duper salute, Miss Duval. $2 super chat, super step says, Tatum blocked me when I asked him, why is he racist? Oh my gosh. You done made him mad. Why you block Miss Duval? Officer Tatum?
out there.
You supposed to have thick skin, brother. Now, I'm going to let the content roll for a little bit. We're going to make sure we come back and show some love to the chat.
Information out to the public until you know for a fact.
Most aggravated chat in the game, most appreciated chat in the world, man. Love y'all. Thank y'all. Super duper salute. Let's go.
That you've been able to communicate with every suspect that's out there. If you start putting out the autopsy prematurely, and it shows blunt force to the head, strangulation to the neck, then the people who have done this are going to make sure they hide the murder weapon. They're going to make sure they get their stories together.
And if you take a long time, like they've been doing, they can also do the same thing.
Say, no, I didn't hit him in the back of the head. You don't want to project those things too prematurely. So there's no issue with transparency. And I'll say this: the reason that I'm talking about Al Sharpton and them is because the first thing that they said was that he was there with white boys. Therefore, there had to been something. And then it goes back historically. Some of them compared this to the young man.
I've heard very different messages from them when they have said we cannot assume that this is racist. But we cannot assume that it wasn't. So
okay, let me jump in here.
Who's that, Charles? Hold on. Charles, who said that? Who said that?
Literally.
Hold on. We got to show some love and put some respect on this right here. First and foremost.
Did y'all hear that?
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Hold on. Mike from the Ville with a $4.99 super chat super step, and this ain't even about the money. I'm much gratitude and much appreciation for the money, the donations, the love, the support. Thank you for that. But it's more about the message. Never been to jail or had warrants. What? Let's go. Make some mother effing noise for that. Never been to jail or had warrants. And it's still F. Tatum. Hold on, dog. Shout out to this man. Ain't no warrants, ain't no jail. Everybody don't go. Y'all talking to a vet. If y'all going crazy in the chat, going back and forth, trying to say something negative to that man, do you know you're talking to a vet? Do you know that? You talking to somebody that signed up to serve for the country to protect your stupid ass, your hateful ass. Do you know that? Huh? When you coming with all this hatred and all this preconceived notions, fool, and you be dead ass wrong, thinking you know somebody. Now, you might be right when you make a judgment about me, depending on what it is, right? You may be correct. But that don't mean I won't surprise your ass. And that don't mean that everybody who chooses to engage or support may have some of my same flaws or made my same mistakes or bad decisions. That don't mean that. And that ain't your end all be all to the people who have them, but to the people who don't, we got to put more respect on that. Because one thing, hold on, we about to go continue with the content, but one thing we will do is celebrate a nigga that just got out of jail like he just graduated college. Or he stood tall, he never told. Yeah, okay. But he did crime. It's somebody that just graduated who family didn't show up and support them and give them the love and encouragement that they needed. You know, it's somebody who worked their way up and who's working their way up in the company and staying out of trouble and taking care of priorities and being an upstanding citizen that needs some encouragement and some praise. Right? I ain't celebrating a nigga that just got out of jail. Am I happy to see you because I haven't seen you in a long time? Am I happy that you're in good health, you're still alive, and all of that good shit, and that even though you were locked down and you had no other options, you did something with your time? Because like, what else you gonna do other than that? You just gonna sit there, you gonna work out, or you gonna waste away, or you know what I mean? So, I did this while I got my degree, or I learned how to make license plates, or I became a carpenter. Cool. You could have did that in a free world. So I like to give credit and props to people that in the free world where there's all these distractions and other options and shit. Give them some credit for having those accomplishments without making them same stupid mistakes or decisions first and foremost. Let's shout out to them. That's what we got to show some love to. I'm glad you made it home from your bid, brother. But I'm more proud of the one that never did a bid, that graduated, that made something out of himself, that became an educator, an entrepreneur, a college graduate. Even if you work for a company, you just work your way up and you retire from that company, whatever. I congratulate those people as well. And much more. I congratulate them first. That's just me personally. Let's get back to the content. Sorry, guys, for going off on my little tangent.
Literally during his eulogy, Al Sharpton said,
Al
we
Sharpton.
cannot assume that this was racist. And he said, we can also not assume that it wasn't.
Take your time. Take your time. Hold on, guys, take your time. Ain't nothing getting edited out. Don't worry about it. Trust me. All of it is, I'm not editing a damn thing. Go ahead, Officer Tatum, the floor is yours.
Well, let me interject. When you are looking for justice for your child in a criminal case, meaning that somebody committed a crime against your child, why do you go out and get a civil rights attorney? These Benjamin Crump and them are known for going after these cases specifically in injustices against black people.
Let me try first.
Okay,
go ahead. No, that's fair. No, that's fair, Charles. Go ahead.
I'm a former prosecutor. I'm a civil rights attorney. Please understand how these things work. At the end of the day, when you're talking about quote unquote justice, the first reason why you get someone like Benjamin Crump is because he's a person who has experience with wrongful death lawsuits.
Black people.
So it is not about black people. No,
it is. Benjamin don't represent white people.
Please talk about that is completely false. That is
Show
completely
me when was the
false.
last case he represented
I'm
where
not
he
here to
supported
do
white people?
I'm not here to do your research for you.
No, you the one said it. I'm telling you it didn't happen.
But Benjamin Crump has a long-standing career of supporting people of all races and ethnicities when it comes to the violation of their civil rights,
Give me one.
as well as personal injury. So please let me answer your question.
Go ahead.
The reason why you get a civil rights attorney is because, number one, Benjamin Crump has extensive experience when it comes to wrongful death suits. Number two, in this situation, it is possible that there may be an element that Nolan Wells' civil rights were violated and that something may have happened to him because of his color, which is why you get a civil rights attorney. A civil rights attorney. And so that is the answer to your question.
It's about
As
color.
a former prosecutor,
I got to get Amaz a few minutes. I seen something Miss Duval said. Let me get Amaz a few minutes. Sorry, y'all.
let the police and the sheriff's office deal with the notion of criminality, because that is one thing that Benjamin Crump can't do anything about.
Well, let's say this. Brother, can I jump in here?
That's why you go get someone like Benjamin Crump.
Why wouldn't the kids get civil rights? Like, for instance, people were saying, why did these kids lawyer up? Well, first of all, many of them didn't even have a lawyer. They went and talked to investigators and did a lie detector test equivalent with no lawyers. Okay, but anyway, would you think it would be weird if these kids went out and got a civil rights attorney?
Why would they have a civil rights attorney? They're not being accused of anything.
They are being accused. Who has accused them? Al Sharpton. Benjamin Crump.
Show me where Al Sharpton has accused them of something.
All right, they said this is what they said.
Suspicious.
This is what they said. They said they put these boys' pictures out on the internet and said he went out, and they framed it as he went out just with them. And something happened, and we know something happened, and why they hiding phones and doing all this? He's accusing them before any evidence is presented.
That's not an accusation. That
is an accusation.
It's a statement of suspicion. That is not an accusation.
Hold on.
You super chatted, Nurse Lady T? How come I don't see it? Hold on. Let me
Charles, let me chime in here. A statement of suspicion, some people would say, is an accusation.
How I missed that one? Hold on. See, this is why I gotta say give it up for the ladies. And we about to rewind that a little bit, y'all. It's getting a tad bit spicy, but first and foremost, hold on. Did y'all hear that? And give it up for the ladies. Super duper salute, Nurse Lady T says, I just asked nicely, please, for y'all to be respectful. Somebody must have been getting too wild in the chat, which is the reason why we went to subscribers only mode. I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes. I gotta give my mods a few minutes, man. Thank you to the mods. Super duper salute. They always doing an awesome job. They always staying on top of things. I be trying to step in and help y'all here and there. I know sometimes it be conflicting. I be like, man, if people say this, just let them go. And then I kick them the hell out myself. I know. But thank y'all. Y'all do an awesome job. Shout out to the mods, man. Can I get some damn green hearts in the chat for the mods or something like that, please? I gotta get a mod shout out. That's what I got. I gotta get a Mars. I owe the Mars a shout out. I gotta find the Mars shout out, man. Hold on, man. That's what I gotta do. I gotta get me one for the Mars next. I gotta get one for the Mars, man. Strictly for the Mars. Let's get some green hearts in the chat for the Mars if we can, please, y'all. Something. I will come up with something better later. I promise, Mars. Y'all already know. I definitely will.
I understand from the legal, literal sense what you're saying. But talking amongst ourselves right now, when you say a statement of...
Hold on, let me rewind this.
Out on the they are being accused. They are being accused. Who is accused? Al Sharpton. Benjamin Crump.
Show me where Al Sharpton has accused them of something.
All right, they said this is what they said.
Suspicious.
This is what they said. They said they put these boys' pictures out on the internet and said he went out, and they framed it as he went out just with them. And something happened, and we know something happened, and why they hiding phones and doing all this? He's accusing them before any evidence is presented.
That's not an accusation. That
is an accusation.
But Charles, it's a statement of suspicion. That's not an accusation.
Charles, let me chime in here. A statement of suspicion, some people would say, is an accusation. I understand from the legal, literal sense what you're saying. But talking amongst ourselves right now, when you say a statement of suspicion is not an accusation, that's not how people interpret a statement of suspicion. When you make a statement of suspicion, you're making an accusation. I mean, can we at least concede that, Charles?
What I will say in response to that, Stephen A., is to whatever extent there may have been statements of suspicion that were interpreted in that manner given early on, I think the record has been clear leading up to and during Nolan Wells' funeral that A, we don't know what happened, B, we won't rule anything out, and C, with respect to ruling anything out or not ruling anything out, we are not saying that this absolutely happened, but we are not saying that we are resting until we get answers.
Can I show you where this becomes biased?
Officer Taylor, let me come at you with this. What's wrong? There's a kid now. Okay, granted, you did your homework. You went out there and you actually talked to several of his friends. Props to you for that. But the bottom line is this kid, Nolan Wells, is dead. And he was the only one that was dead. What's wrong with, again, in the state of Mississippi, not just with white boys, there were some dudes there as well, but he had other people there. He was the one that did not come home alive. Again, without an official accusation. What's wrong with having your suspicions raised and saying, listen, we need some damn answers. Something ain't right. He was a healthy young 18-year-old and he didn't come home alive. How'd that happen? What's wrong with that?
Now, if they had context and all the information and then they led with that, I would have no problem with it. But let me tell you this right now, Stephen A. Smith and Charles, I'm telling you right now, if a white boy was on an island with his black friends, all black, and some white folks put on a camera that something must be suspicious because the one white boy is with all these black dudes, and something may have happened. We know that people covering it up and everything because these kids black. Man, we'd be pissed off on that. Ain't no way in the world I'd accept somebody saying, you gonna blame these black boys for doing something to this kid because they black? That's insane. And that's what happened in this situation.
If a white boy had been on that boat with 3 black boys, we would have seen a very different.
Where's your evidence? Give me a case.
History.
No history. You can say history can tell us everything.
We would have seen please let me finish my statement. We would have seen a very different.
Give me an example.
Of the Central Park, the exonerated 5.
Well, first of all, 5 of them didn't go to prison. It was Central Park 5. Only 4 of them went to prison.
It was actually 6 of them, and 5 of them went to prison. And I'm not.
And let me tell you how they went to prison.
I'm not going to quibble with you.
You won't give context.
One at a time, guys. One at a time. One at a time.
Yeah, thank you, Steve.
You asked for an example. I'm not going to quibble with you and say, well, they're called the exonerated 5, and only 4 went to. I'm not going to do that. The exonerated 5. You wanted an example. I gave you an example.
That's not an equivalent example.
And there are other examples throughout history, starting with Emmett Till. Are
you comparing this to Emmett Till?
You asked me.
No. Are you saying that this is equivalent to Emmett Till?
You asked me for an example.
So you're saying that it's equivalent?
Where if reversed?
Okay, I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm telling you, I'm giving you examples. What I'm telling you is that if the situation were reversed, we would have seen a very different investigation from law enforcement from the actual outset. Let me interject. We as a people, when it comes as a former prosecutor, because here's the thing, you're a former police officer, and that's fine. But when it comes to after arrests are made and how prosecutions are going, that's my space. That's my lane. So I'm going to speak from my lane. And what I can tell you is we do not typically enjoy the benefit of the doubt when it comes to probable cause. That's not true. I'm telling you as a former prosecutor.
Run the likes up, please, guys. Run the likes. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, please. I'm going to open the chat back up in a second. I had to give the mods a break. I just got to give the mods a break. 20% off all Rumonati merch on the Rumonati shop. Let's go.
I'm not going to tell you what it's like.
I arrest people and I deal with prosecutors.
I'm not going to
tell you what it is. I have to interview with the prosecutors every time there's an arrest. And we have to go to trial.
Well, he's not saying that you don't know. Hold on. He's not saying that you don't know, Officer Tatum. What he's saying is from his perspective as a prosecutor, this is what he's bringing up. Now, I granted, I don't blame Officer Tatum. I don't blame Officer Tatum for bringing up, acting incredulous when he says you say Emmett Till. That's 1955. Al Sharpton brought up Medgar Evers at the funeral. That's 1963. So if Officer Tatum's going to look at it and say that's what you're bringing up, I get where he's coming from in terms of the distance between then and now. But I also get where you're coming from, Charles Coleman Jr. When you highlight, listen, from an historical perspective, we're talking about we've seen things like this before, and those are just names that we know. There's a plethora of names that we may not have known that have transpired throughout history that have suffered some of these maladies, and we get that part too. Go ahead, Officer Tatum, floor is yours.
But what I'm saying is that you cannot project that. It's unfair to project that. You can have it in your subconscious that there has been things that have been done wrong, but you got to treat these things fairly. You cannot go out and project that somehow the sheriff is a racist and he's not going to do right by these boys. That's not right. Let the investigation ensue, and then if you see impropriety in the investigation, then you can project that. But listen, they interviewed you just said they interviewed 60 people. They interviewed all these boys the day of. Like, what did they do wrong? They did an autopsy.
Officer Tatum, respectfully, what about those who would say the same or would ask the same question about you? Are you being fair? Because just like you have people out there that are elevating their level of suspicion and jumping to some sort of conclusion attached to guilt as it pertains to the death of Nolan Wells, you're coming across as somebody who's assuming these individuals that were in attendance with him were innocent because of your conversations with them, as opposed to not getting the full context the way Charles Coleman Jr. just highlighted.
No, yeah, I accept people saying that, but let me tell you that I saw proof. I'm not just taking somebody's account for it. And I'm not saying that nobody didn't kill Nolan. I'm telling you the people that they put out on the internet and said these white boys were the only ones with him, and they're getting death threats. While I was out there, somebody sent the suspicious package to one of the boys' houses. They showing up at these boys' houses saying that they killed him. Go look on the internet and look at any these videos. They got the boy pictures up there saying they had something to do with his death. They're claiming they deleting text messages. All this stuff is incredibly ridiculous. When I went out and I said, show me the proof then.
Mars.
Not just what you say, show me the proof. And these kids are showing proof, their lawyers are showing proof that they had nothing to do with this. They have a Life 360 just like Nolan did. Their Life 360 showed that they were not on the island, or at least, the young man that I interviewed, he wasn't even on the island. I saw his Life 360. So, I mean, these kids, they shouldn't have done these boys like this. They should let the investigation go and then make their accusations.
So you're highlighting specifically, you're not even saying, like you just said, you're not even saying that Nolan Wells, that some vile act, that he wasn't murdered. You're saying that these boys, those are the ones that are being unfairly scrutinized and villainized by this whole ordeal. That's what you're saying, Officer Tatum. Is that accurate?
Yes, Stephen A.
Hold on, wait. So he's saying So Officer Tatum is in agreement that Nolan Wells was murdered, but he doesn't think that the boys had anything to do with it. Is that what I'm understanding here? Let me make sure. I had to double back because I'm doing production while producing, while living, mother. I'm finna eat some pretzels too, all right? Yeah.
The young man that I interviewed, he wasn't even on the island. I saw his Life 360. So, I mean, these kids, they shouldn't have done these boys like this. They should let the investigation go and then make their accusations.
So you're highlighting specifically, you're not even saying, like you just said, you're not even saying that Nolan Wells, that some vile act, that he wasn't murdered. You're saying that these boys, those are the ones that are being unfairly scrutinized and villainized by this whole ordeal. That's what you're saying, Officer Tatum. Is that accurate?
Yes, Stephen A. There were black kids there who now getting threats online too for coming out and saying something. But nobody's saying, what did these black kids have anything to do with it? The young girl he was kicking it with, They don't have her name out there. Kate, well, her name is Katie, but I'm not gonna say her full name. I don't want her to get doxxed. They not nobody talking about her. She said she was the last one. I mean, she at least mentioned that she was with him. The boy showed me text messages from her that she's saying that she was with him. Like, why ain't nobody coming at her?
I've seen, and see, this is where it gets dangerous, right? The importance in this moment is to focus on the integrity of the overall process. And when I say the overall process, I'm referring to the investigation, because I knew that the girl's name was Katie. I don't know her last name, and I knew it because there were people who I was seeing in the comment sections that I had on videos that I had done updating people about the case, who were asking the same questions that you have. People,
but Benjamin Crump isn't.
Please. So here's the thing, which is why. When you're trying to, and at the end of the day, listen, you don't know what Benjamin Crump is doing as far as investigating a case. The same way that you talked about, with an investigation, there are certain things that you don't reveal. You don't know what that team of lawyers are doing with respect to trying to ascertain the facts.
My mic was off. Only thing I asked was that everybody please maintain the respect. We don't have to love each other. We don't have to like each other. We have to be able to coexist. You don't have to respect me. Please just don't disrespect me or each other. That's it. No matter what side of the coin you fall on, go ahead, voice your opinion. But do it with some type of civility, some type of human decency, some type of self-respect and dignity that you will present yourself in an adult manner. Other than that, have at it. Mars, let me know. Let's go.
So when it comes to, did they answer you or did they not answer you?
Well, they answered us on the last one and refused to respond to us. I mean, they refused to engage with us.
They don't owe you, and they don't owe you that.
Well, which is fine. Well, don't act like you're trying to get to the bottom of something.
So again,
don't act like you're trying to get to the bottom of something.
Don't do the thing to them that you are accusing other people of doing.
He said he's trying to get to the bottom of it.
Don't make assumptions that
I'm not
for
assuming.
them, no, you are. You're like, well, they're not doing this, and they're trying to make this.
They're not reaching out to the boys.
They have not spoken to you.
They haven't spoken to the boys.
Charles, in fairness, at least answer this question. If indeed it's to be found out that there's been no attempt by whether it's Sharpton or Benjamin Crump or anybody else to reach out to the actual boys who were supposed to be in attendance with Nolan Wells, as Officer Tatum just highlighted, do you feel that that's the right path that they should be taking if they're raising suspicions, calling for a more thorough and open investigation, etc., and they haven't made personal attempts to reach out to these young men themselves? Do you think that that would be the right thing to do?
I can't think
to ask Officer Tatum's question.
Sure, I can't imagine that legal team would look to bring a lawsuit without having attempted to at least try to get some investigative answers from these boys. Now, when in this process they do it is a different question, because at the end of the day, the more information you have, the more informed questions you can ask. And the chances are you're not going to get multiple bites at that apple. So from a strategic place, what I can tell you is that, yes, I would fully expect that at some point they would endeavor to reach out to these boys, but it may not be this point because they may be waiting for additional information so that they can actually ask better questions. They're not going to get multiple chances to do it. So when you do it, you want to make sure that you're doing it the best way you can. And the only way to do that is to have the information that you need in order to ask the best questions.
Charles, they drugged these boys through the mother freaking mud. They put their faces online. Benjamin Crump shared this video or this picture of them in a swimming pool. That event was a week before July 4th. He didn't do no due diligence to check with anybody before he started putting this stuff out there. Then what he do is he go, I had people saying that the argument was Nolan Wells asking for his phone back. He didn't talk to Tristan, who I interviewed. Tristan said on NBC, that was me, or ABC, that was me. That was not Nolan. But Benjamin Crump still, to this day, haven't came out and said, we found out that it was another young man. He pushed this stuff on these boys, and they getting death threats. That stuff is not right. Benjamin should be more responsible. But the reason
I'm not
that
here
I
to
have,
talk about Nolan Wells' lawyer. I'm here to talk about why Nolan Wells is why Nolan Wells is dead.
but let's get to that.
That's the
Let's
conversation.
let's get to the phones.
Go ahead.
The phones getting deleted because Al Sharpton came out there and said the mama had to go and search the phone down with GPS and Life 360. No, she didn't. The boys showed text messages, or the parents showed text messages of them communicating with his mom. She refused. And then they go and say they deleted. The boys say, the boys told me, it could be not true or not. I don't know. They got to figure it out. They go, we didn't touch his phone. His phone went from the boat to the car with everybody else's phone. And when they came to get the phone, we got the phone out of the car and gave it to another young man's mom who came to get the other young man's phone. They said, we don't know Nolan's password. How are we getting his phone and delete anything? Now, why is them not coming on TV and saying there was no password or they had to get through his phone?
Let me ask you this question. Based on your investigation, I'm asking you this. I'm thinking of any parent that loses their child wants to get to the bottom of it. They don't care if the villain is white, black, or whatever. Their child is dead. They want the culprit. So when you see Al Sharpton eulogizing and announcing that there's a $100,000 reward, when you see that Tyler Perry agreed to pay for the funeral and put up half of the reward, when you see guys like Spike Lee and Terrell Owens in attendance, and Terrell Owens, I think, dedicated $25,000, if I remember correctly, according to the reports that I've read, and you see Benjamin Crump in attendance, and you're talking about civil rights lawyers being in attendance, like you just pointed out. My question to you, Officer Tatum, and Charles, you can follow up based on the answer that he provides. My question to you is, why do you think the parents decided to go that route, Officer Tatum, based on your investigation in terms of allowing all of those folks to be so intimately involved in this situation? What are your thoughts about that? What comes to your mind, particularly based on your investigation, talking to the actual parties supposedly involved?
There's two thoughts that come to my mind. One is that Al Sharpton and Benjamin Crump are manipulating this family's trauma in order for them to make a crap ton of money. That's one. The second one is the parents trying to cash in on this because, and this is the reason why I say this. Why did Nolan Wells' mama say, I don't know these kids? These boys showed me pictures and video and texted them staying over his house, or at least the young boy Tristan, staying over his house multiple times. She went to school with one of the other boys' mama, graduated high school with her. They showed me the yearbook. Why is she saying this? Why Al Sharpton don't know this boy? Why is he eulogizing him at his funeral? Ain't never met Nolan a day in his life. You know, why are they saying we're going to give $100,000 to somebody who give us information to lead to an arrest? What if Nolan drowned? They don't care about him drowning. You know, and then also, why we don't do this for any other young men who have lost their lives at the hands of other people other than white people? Why we coming together?
Charles, I'm going to give you the floor. Charles, I'm going to give you the floor in a second. But Officer Tatum, it's one thing. I want to make sure that I give you an opportunity to clarify, because it's one thing to feel what you feel about Benjamin Crump, Reverend Al Sharpton, etc. It's another thing entirely to lump the parents who just lost their child.
But I know it's sensitive.
Talking about they're trying to profit.
I know it's sensitive.
You sure you want to say that? That's what I'm saying. You sure you want to say that?
Let me be clear about this. You asked me what my thoughts were. I didn't say that was facts. I just said these are my thoughts based on a few factors, right?
Okay.
There ain't no reason for Al Sharpton to be doing that boy's eulogy when Al never knew him.
That's not even your call or your business
but
to make.
What I'm saying is that if I die, my daddy, if I die,
that's you. Respect the choices that family made.
Let him speak.
If I get killed,
that family had a choice.
Why?
And who it is that? Why is that? They don't have to answer to you. That's not.
They don't. But I have an opinion.
That's that family.
Okay.
I don't even understand who that family chose to eulogize their fallen son.
What is
any of your business to have any commentary about?
Well, you can't tell me that because it don't seem normal. It don't seem normal to me.
Anyone they wanted to.
It don't seem normal.
Tatum can't let somebody make their point, bro. God, dog, bro. Let the man talk.
It don't seem normal to me for a man that don't even preach sermons to do a eulogy for a boy that he didn't know.
Okay, we're going off the rails. We're going off the rails. We're going off the rails because, Charles, I know you got to get ready to go. We're running out of time. So I'm just going to give this last question to both of y'all.
On your way in or out, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. There's too many people in here for the likes to be standing stagnant. I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much.
To Tatum, I'm going to give you the word, and then Charles Coleman, I'm going to give you the last word. What are your expectations of what is going to come of this? when all is said and done, based on the evidence that we know. Charles, Officer Tatum, I'll go with you first. Charles, I'll give you the last word.
And I'll try to make this succinct. I think we're going to find that the law enforcement agency did a fair investigation, that they did things right all the way through the process, and that none of this will lead to any of what Al Sharpton and them said it was and alluded that it was, and they will get to the bottom of what happened to Nolan, and it will be clean, it will be professional, and it will be the same result without the interference with activists and people out here hoodwinking. I think that they're going to find out what happened to Nolan, and it's not going to be Al Sharpton, it's not going to be Benjamin Crump. It's going to be the law enforcement agencies that go out and do this stuff every single day, that does an investigation, that's going to be forensically looked through the cell phone, that's going to interview 60 people and find out what happened to Nolan. And they're going to be able to say, was it somebody that did something nefarious to Nolan? They're going to be prosecuted. If Nolan drowned, they're going to let the family know he drowned.
Thank you for the likes, guys. Thank you for the likes. Let's continue to run them up, please.
That's going to be the totality of this investigation, which didn't have nothing to do with this race stuff and had nothing to do with these activists coming out and making money on the death of another black boy.
Charles, I'll give you the last word because I know you got to go.
Sure. Thank you, Stephen A. I don't necessarily know what will come of the case. I am and continue to be invested in the integrity of the process. Number one, so that it sets a precedent of getting to the facts and having objective information disseminated to the public in a way that's honest, truthful, and transparent. What I will say is that it's disappointing to sit and listen to Brandon talk about the same type of aspersions being cast on Benjamin Crump, on Al Sharpton, in the same way that they are advocating for answers for Nolan Wells, that he has railed against the same type of characterizations going in reverse. A split mirror image of the type of vitriol that you are decrying against the survivors in this instance being spewed at Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton. And I don't necessarily think that that gets us anywhere, and it's not productive when you're talking about getting to the bottom of this and understanding what actually happened to Nolan Wells. So for me, I hope that the dialogue can be more tempered, where we're not trying to characterize people in either direction, but we're trying to insist on getting to the bottom of things and looking for the facts.
Spirited discussion, that's what it's all about. Two opposite points of view, but I appreciate both of y'all time. I know y'all got a lot more to say, but I know, Charles, at least in your case, you got to get on out of here.
In the beginning, where they're calling for the emergency for their bilge pump and they're taking on water, I swear you can hear her say, "Oh my God, is he dead?" and yells, "Nolan." Listen to the audio.
To connect you.
CETO Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, where's the...
All right, of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
First of all, the guy making the call sounds definitely drunk.
View will make it harder for a secondary review, and that proved to be the case here as well. We have not gotten official word on the initial autopsy. The state is pending its toxicology and other results, which is not unusual. Nothing on the forensic side of this process has been unusual to this point. However, the entire situation is unusual. Why? Look, people are dancing around the question. The reason why is that it's one black kid with 4 white kids in Mississippi. And there is a history, there is a paranoia, it is not unfounded, there is concern and race. Of course, it's something that we created, but it resonates and it creates concern. And to quickly rule that nothing is wrong when a young, strong guy goes somewhere with a bunch of friends, they all leave without him, he winds up dead, and nobody saw anything, nobody seems to know anything when he was at a party with hundreds of people, is curious. And to end the investigation preliminarily as quickly as they did, ruling out anything as foul play, is curious. It may not mean anything that they ended it quickly, but with so many people, nobody saw anything. Nobody saw how this kid wound up in the water. So there's obviously more to understand. Could this be a simple explanation? Yes, but for the fact that it should have come out already. Because if it's simple as someone saw him go in the water, well, then why didn't they try to rescue him? You know, how did he wind up drowning if someone saw something in that moment when he was in extremis, when he was in a situation where he was drowning? How come nobody helped him if people saw it? So that leads us to believe that this may have happened in a way where there were fewer people looking. Well, how would that have been possible at such a group party? Was there somewhere else to go? Was there a backside to the island? Those are the types of investigative questions that you would want to see pursued. And when you end it quickly and say there's no foul play, it does raise a suspicion as to whether or not you were really curious about these things. Okay, so the investigation will keep pushing to ask those questions. We haven't heard the officials yet say that they refuse to go down those roads. So that takes us to the breaking news. What is the breaking news? So they flew the body to Washington, D.C. to have a second autopsy done by someone who's absolutely an accredited forensicist, Dr. Wells. Now, it is exactly what I suggested it was going to be, which is not unusual in cases like this, which is the finding of cause of death is undetermined. Why is it undetermined? Because you need to see other aspects of it, and also somebody had gotten at this body before the second autopsy, obviously, that's why it's called the second, and parts of the body are not there anymore. What is curious? Several things. So the front of the throat was removed. That's not unusual. It was not replaced or in a way where it could be re-examined. Again, not necessarily unusual. They may be doing further testing on it. But it did not avail the second autopsy of an opportunity to assess this area, which means that the second autopsy raised questions as to whether or not there were any injuries to this area that would have suggested some type of struggle or strangulation, because it's not there. So it's not that there is proof, which is being portrayed in a lot of social media banter, that, oh, they removed it for bad reason. We don't know that. It is not unusual to have tissue removed, parts of the body removed, parts of the body removed and not replaced. Not even that unusual. So that is raised in it, and that is a legitimate issue to raise. What is the condition of the tissue there? What did it suggest? May have been found interesting to the first autopsy, which is why it was removed. We don't know, but that is one of the questions. The big headline is that there's discoloration on the back of the head, redness. First real piece of ignorance to get rid of is, oh, it doesn't make any sense. Black people don't have red spots on their skin. What are you talking about? We're talking about an abrasion or some form of lividity, blood collection in the back of the head. Of course, that's as likely to happen in a person of color or a Caucasian or any other kind of person. So that's silly and ignorant. The question is, why was there redness? Is this because of contact? Is it because of an injury? Is it because of simple abrasion of having been rubbing against the ground or in shallow water on that spot? The occipital region of the skull, that lower part. Is that why it was? These are all possible. We don't know which is most probable because you don't have any other context yet. But it was not a blunt force trauma. It was not a break in the skull. From my reading of the preliminary, it wasn't even a break in the skin. But it was redness in that area that is curious. It raises the question of why, but it is not necessarily indicative of any kind of foul play, let's say. Now, what Mr. Crump is making a huge issue is that the body was found fully clothed and face down. Face down is not helpful to me because you don't know the condition of the water and the tides and the effect of time on the body and whether it rolled over. The body was identified by dental records. What does that mean? Well, that is pro forma to use dental records to be safe in identification, but it also may mean that the condition of the body, because of temperature and duration and whatever happened in the days that he was in the water, may have bloated it, may have allowed gas expansion depending on temperature and condition, and it may have been hard to recognize otherwise. Or it can just be that they're identifying it through the dental records to just say that they were certain. I don't know how many dead people they would have been expecting to find when he was the only person missing. And it wasn't like it was, there were a ton of black people there from the videos that I can see. So if they found a dead black person, a male, they must have been suspicious that it was him. It would have been the most reasonable assessment. Anyway, the identity was confirmed and nobody's questioning that. Why was he face down in the water? Again, there are a lot of reasons that could be legitimate for that. It's not necessarily indicative or suggestive of a particular cause of death or reason for death. Him being clothed is very important to Mr. Crump. Why? Because the videos he was seen earlier that day, he had no shirt on. Now, is it as curious to me as it is to Mr. Crump? No. Why? because of the other possibilities, which or what? Well, you're really dealing with. So what is the suspicion that somebody put clothes back on him? That doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't engender any real suspicion.
That could be an indication that because some people suspect that he left the island and was brought back, that could be indicative of that. Quite possibly. Just throwing that out there.
It means that with the passage of time, maybe he put a shirt on. Maybe it got late. Maybe it got chilly.
That as well. We don't know if the clothing was the same clothing in the photos as well. The clothing that they found him in, we don't know if it was the same clothing in the photos. We don't know if he put on pants, or I'm sure if it was pants, they would have said something, but could have just been a shirt he threw on from being out there for so long.
Maybe he wanted a shirt on. You know, it could. Any of those things are as likely as anything nefarious. So, why is Ben Crump right to draw curiosity? Well, because that's his job, is to make this interesting, to make it curious. And I'm not being cynical or pejorative. You want this to get attention. You want it to be taken seriously. You want it to be explored. And this is a reason for potential exploration. It is not the most compelling reason, but I have no problem with the amount of attention that this case is getting. Why? Because, yes, there is a little bit of a suggestion in some of the narrative structure around the reporting that one white guy and one black guy and 4 white guys go out, only the white guys come back. Is that a fair narrative? No. Why? Because they went to a party with hundreds of people. It wasn't like they just took this kid somewhere to a remote area and came back without him. Look, the biggest point of curiosity is, to me, that there should be more information about what happened to this kid once his friends left or while he was there, because there were so many people at the party. Now, I don't know that investigators don't have lots of witness accounts. I don't know. I don't know the state of their investigation and what documentation they have. It is really important, and they should be talking about it. Ben Crump suggested that there was limited or no back and forth with authorities. Why would that be? Well, it's an active investigation. Why else might it be? Well, the overtone of politics, racial politics, may make them hesitant to engage. Is that good? No. Does it play poorly, especially with the context of this being Mississippi? Yeah, it doesn't play well. Is it something they should be sensitive to? Obviously. Is it fair to talk about Mississippi that way? Yes. Why? Because the history is the history. Yeah, but there are a lot of places, and it's changed. And I'm not saying that Mississippi is what it was in the 50s. I'm just saying that against the specter of the parents of Emmett Till and seeing the parents now on side-by-side photos, there is a similarity. There is a parallel that would obviously resonate, especially with black people. And history matters. And curiosity matters, and due process matters. And if this is an accident, I think it is, first of all, there's a high degree of likelihood that it was accidental. And if it is, that's good to know, and it's good to have consensus around it. Now, in light of these preliminary findings, my analysis has not changed. I did not expect them to be anything but undetermined. Why? Because I don't have any reason to believe that someone murdered him, and that would be obvious from any examination of the body. Why? Because I don't know anything that would indicate that this is a homicide. But aren't you curious? Yes, I am curious. But having questions is different than having answers. And how did he die? Of course. Who isn't asking that? Well, the investigators aren't, because they said no foul play. They said it's an accident. Okay. The absence of any proof or any gross indication of having been shot or stabbed or strangled or dismembered or anything like that, anything obviously broken, would lead you to believe that he had drowned. Will they know? Yes. Why don't they know already? Well, I don't know what the findings of the initial autopsy are. Neither do you. So I'm talking about the second one, which is a body that had already been examined, had already been tampered with, right? And I don't mean that in, again, a nefarious way, but it is harder to make determinations. Now, pending further investigation, was there water in his lungs? Why isn't that in this determination? I don't know. I am assuming that preliminary means, and I didn't hear Mr. Crump explain this, he may have and I didn't hear it, is that takes more time. And this is just the initial assessment. I would think that you would want to be responsible with an initial assessment and look at whether or not there was water in the lungs. Now, did he look at it and he wasn't able to determine whether or not it was a drowning by that? That would be very unusual, because usually that is a major indicator in a situation like this of whether or not the person drowned. Now, if you know that the person drowned, if there were water in the lungs, and again, we don't know this here as far as I understand, at this point, does it mean that it was an accidental drowning? Not necessarily, not dispositively, meaning not to a certainty. Why? Well, what if you hold my head underwater? If you hold my head underwater, I'm going to drown. There's going to be water in my lungs. Was it an accident? No. Okay, then you have toxicology. Why does toxicology matter? Well, because if the toxicology is material and relevant, meaning I was drunk, is it more likely that I would have drowned? Yes. Can you tell? Now, one thing I thought is just someone just not thinking it through. Well, what if they find water in the lungs and then he was drinking after it? What? That's not a possibility. If you drown, it's over. That's why there's water in your lungs. There's no after anything there. So back to the logical world. If you're drunk and there's water in your lungs, does it mean that you drowned accidentally? Maybe. Maybe. Well, why not definitely? You're drunk and there's water in your lungs, you drowned, you were drunk.
Can y'all please count? NBC News has obtained audio as part of a records request that details the group calling for towing assistance.
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board. Nolan went to the island in a boat with friends on July 4th. His body was found 2 days later. It's unclear whether Nolan was with anyone when he disappeared.
On the record by name. So let's go through them. Namely, a coroner, a judge, 2 friends, and the mother herself. You know, this is 2026 makes me so angry on social media when it comes to victim, putting victim forward, because people don't take into account that you're not only smearing the victims, the reverence of the case itself, or hampering in the investigation, but you're putting bad vibes on the family. What does that mean to you, John?
It's just that right now, the case is really left out of control of law enforcement. They're doing their own legitimate investigation, which is necessarily done with some confidentiality, because right now we're trying to figure out, we don't even really know anything about what caused Nolan Wells' death. So that needs to be investigated without information getting out into the public and taking a potential witness pool, information getting out of hand, stuff that needs to be confidential, stuff that needs to go to the family first before it goes into the public domain. But because there's this video that's circulating around, because lots of people who saw Nolan that night and his friends are talking about it online, the rumor mill has exploded. And people who are actually associated with the disappearance of Nolan Wells are getting online and they're correcting the record, saying, I was there, this is what I know. And so the narrative is being crafted largely by the rumor mill, slightly corrected by the people that were there. But because police officers and the agencies that are investigating this, including the Coast Guard, which hasn't released that audio, by the way, of the call that reported Nolan missing, they're not responding to the public discourse at all, right? They did have a press conference just yesterday. Not much was said in that press conference, but because they're keeping so much confidential, the rumors are essentially going unchecked online, and it's causing lots of misinformation out there. And lots of people have already formed their beliefs about what happened to Nolan. They formed an opinion about this case in that some kind of foul play is going on and potentially a cover-up is going on, but none of that has been independently established through any kind of formal evidentiary investigation. It's just speculation that's going online. It's the conspiracy theories that we see going on in other cases now. Conspiracy theories used to be just confined to JFK and UFO, but now we're seeing it on the nightly news about who's involved and what the relationship is to a third party who wasn't even present and what that could potentially mean for the legitimacy of an investigation. And there's parties involved who don't want this to be a legitimate investigation, parties involved who want the rumors to get out of hand and to stoke public sentiment. And so far, it appears to be working, Drew.
As of this recording, there are 2 autopsies, and there's one that you've...
I don't think there's nobody involved. I don't know who he's speaking about when he says that there's parties involved that want the rumors to get out of hand and take over. I don't think that's what anybody wants. Nobody benefits from that. I think what everybody wants is answers. As clear and concise as possible. The people just want answers. for the people that care about the death of Nolan, for the people who question Mississippi and the history, and who even suspect this to be racially induced, or whatever word proper right now. I can't think, but of course I can think. I'll be, if you don't think, you're brain dead, right? But anyway, they want answers. Because it you can't help but to have some sort of suspicion. It looks suspicious. It sounds suspicious to the majority of people. Let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Of course, we can try to say, oh, it's just about a missing kid. We want it to be that. America itself won't allow it to be that, no matter what side of the coin you fall on. You know why? Because there's going to be people that say, oh, he shouldn't have went out with all them white boys. And there's going to be people that celebrate the fact and say, this is what happened. That feel like this. There's going to be people that feel like this.
Them boys don't know how to swim. Yeah. You throw them in that water. We say, swim, boy, swim. Woo! Learn how to swim, boy. You can't do it. You can't do it, boy. Y'all ain't ever going to learn how to swim. Yeah. Yeah, they did it. Them boys did it. This is a damn tradition for us. Yeah. This is a tradition. We take you boys out in the woods. And we throw you in the swamp. We throw you in the creek. We throw you in the springs and rivers. Yeah, we throw you in them oceans. Y'all can't do a damn thing. Y'all be in there splashing and screaming, I can't swim, I can't swim. Oh, hell no. But you know, it ain't our fault. It ain't our fault you're fucking stupid. Grown man don't know how to swim.
Yeah, homie, and that can't happen. I hit the wrong button. That oh hell no was funny though. Let me fast forward this shit. I can't fast forward it. Yeah, we got to the end. He lost his job and all that shit. I can't fast forward it.
Yeah, it's a big conspiracy. You know, every 6 months this skin tone, we all get together in our neighborhoods and we have like a little neighborhood meeting. Y'all ain't invited. We get together, we make plans, we talk about y'all, talk about, yeah, let's put this one in football, you know, let's put this one in basketball, yeah, let's encourage him to do that and this, yeah. We bet on y'all. Man, we just play y'all like a damn game and y'all don't even know it. This is a tradition. Been going on since the beginning of time. And y'all still in the dark. And you know, I thought I'd go ahead and tell you, but even me telling you, it's still just going to be conspiracy and nobody's going to be able to prove it.
A few moments later.
So, as you all know, I've been doxxed. I lost my job this morning. I had to leave home. Everybody's fucking pissed off at me. Now these idiots are wanting to get a judge involved because I'm a dangerous person, and now they want to, you know, try and do something about custody because I'm too much of a danger to be around children.
Not everybody feels that way, but there are people that feel that way about this case. Everybody don't just want answers, right? Everybody don't want answers. But I think for the most part, what people want is answers. And if I don't want nothing, I don't watch this and say that I'm suspicious about the events with hopes that, oh, I'm suspicious and I hope that he was murdered and I hope that these boys go to jail forever. No, I wouldn't want this young man to have went through no tragic event, bro. I don't want this young man to had his last minute to have been him being choked or held underwater or some shit like that. I would prefer him to be here alive first and foremost, but if he passed on, even if alone in the dark, in the water, drunk, I would rather it be that. And you know, I would rather nothing, but out of the two, out of that, as opposed to him, you know, his last minute feeling helpless or looking somebody in their eye and like life leaving him. And he's like, I thought you were my friend and all that type of you know what I'm saying? I would rather, my condolences to his family. I wish this wasn't the case, but since we're here, I would prefer that it not be a homicide. I would prefer that the young man didn't have his life taken and he suffered like that before he passed on. That's what my preference would be. But I don't know what's going. No one knows what's going on. We can only ask for answers. That's why I don't want a war. Somebody's like, oh, yeah, we don't want a war. F war. We want answers. We got to know what the hell is going on. Why is he gone? It looks suspicious. I don't want this to be the case, but nigga, this what it looked like. It looks like foul play. Prove me wrong. Please. That would be my preference. I'm sure that would bring more peace to this family. But actually prove it though. Don't hide tracheas and stomachs and lungs, and don't take so long with the information. Don't take the boat and not allow the dogs to come and sniff the boat out and all that. Allegedly, I don't know if that's true or not, right? But I'm just saying that's what I've heard. Like it's a lot going on with this case. It's a lot to process and figure out. Let me show some love to the chat, man. Before we get up out of here, let me show some love to the chat, bro. First and foremost, they call it fan funding. I see it as another form of support. It's just a super support, and shout out to the super supporters, man. First off, thank y'all. Mike from the Ville with the $4.99 super chat. CJ Brewster with the $9.99 super chat. Hold on, Mike from the Ville say hit the likes on your way in and drop what state you watching from. Let's go. CJ Brewster says, where was the smoke for Javon? He was close to Nolan. He was there. He was one of the last people to see him. His mom nudged him during the interview. Why? He's supposed to be Nolan's best friend. CJ Brewster, yeah, appreciate you for leading us to that interview, which I actually didn't see beforehand, but I saw clips of. But I didn't catch the part where his mom nudged him. Shout out to Miss Duval. Let's go with the $2 super chat. Says Tatum gives me white only pies vibes, owner. And another $2 says Tatum is not an officer, bootlicking idiot. And another $2, stop disrespecting Nolan legacy. And another $2, Tatum motto, if it's not white, it's not white, right? Super stepping, let's go. And then Mike from the Ville with a $1.99 super chat. Super step says F officer potato salad with raisins. And Miss Duval right back says Tatum blocked me when I asked him, why are you racist, with a $2 super chat. Super step. Mike from the Ville with a $4.99 super chat. Super step says never been to jail or had warrants and is still F Tatum. And Nurse Lady T with the $1.99 super chat. Super step says I just asked nicely for y'all to be respectful. Shout out to FBA Judah that sent 2 jewels for stars 3 times. And shout out to Deanna Miller for the star for 2 jewels. Let's go. Super duper salute to y'all. Thank y'all. Most aggravating chat in the game, most appreciated chat in the world. Let's go. Now let's shout out this top 10 real quick. Let's shout out this top 10. We got number 1, Mike from the Ville. We got number 2, CJ Brewster. Number 3, Miss Duval. Number 4, Dial Smith. Number 5, XO Mills. Number 6, Nurse Lady T. Number 7, Slim Jones McEasy. Number 8, Glenda R. Number 9, FBA Judah. And number 10, Ty Scott. Then number 11, because I see it, honorable mention, Ateo Profile. Shout out to you. Shout out to y'all. And super duper salute. And shout out to the most aggravating chat in the game, the most appreciated chat in the world. Y'all so damn aggravating, bro. Hold on. We done broke the glass and the ceiling sound off, y'all. Let's go.
So, aggravating as hell, man. You're aggravating.
Let's go. Let's go. We done broke the glass and the ceiling. Let's go.
So aggravating, huh?
Let's go. Shout out to y'all. Super duper salute.
You were probably
super duper salute. Let's go. Thank y'all for the likes, man. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Constantly running it up. Going crazy. I appreciate y'all. Gertie Thomas says Officer Tatum interviewed the friend of Nolan. Mike from the Ville says he ain't kinfolk. Tatum is the skinfolk I speak of. Facts. Our Solution says, when was the call made at Chris? What call? Slim John who? Mike from the Ville says y'all showed out today. Thank you to all the subs and new supporters and possible members. All the likes and donations. Thanks all y'all. Much love. And that's a fact. Sorry, that's an MF fact. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Chris 415 says, well, Judah Nolan's best friend called his mom first, then the Coast Guard. Oh, phone record. So yeah, it was a drowning. Everything else is a money grab. Glenda says that man said that on Nancy. Tammy Griffin says, I don't trust Javon. Mike from the Ville said more likes than viewers. Let's go. Yeah, we done ran it up. Till the views went down. We finna get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. Jay Pace says, no one hid the throat structural Crump. Explain that and is held back for further testing. I thought he called me a chump. I was gonna read it too, and I laughed at it because I ain't heard the word chump in so long. That was funny as hell. I thought a nigga called me a chump. That was funny, dog. Like, ain't no one said that chump. No, he said crump. Glenda says, one of them, they said that the crump man don't want the dogs. Come on, crump man. But before that, hold on. Did y'all hear that? Mike from the Ville, let's go. Super duper salute, Mike from the Ville, man. Say y'all come and join the Discord. The link is on the main page of this channel above the subscribe button. I'm gonna show you how to get there real quick. Let me show you how to get to the Discord right here. This is where we're gonna be at after the live ends. Go right here above the subscribe button. You see join Discord. Click that link. Make sure you have it downloaded already. It'll take you right there. It's only a few megabytes on your phone. Won't even take no gigs. You know what I'm talking about? And also right here, we have the PayPal if you guys want to donate. And we got the link tree, which will take you to all the Rumonati socials, the TikTok, the Twitch, the Instagram, and it also take you to the Rumonati shop where you can get you some official Rumonati merch for 20% off up until August 5th with the code Rumor 2026. Put your code in, get you some of that merch. I'm about to grab one of these, even though it's warm out. It's not warm out. I think I'm gonna grab one of these in this color. Chestnut. Shit, before the day over, hopefully I can give somebody a chestnut. Hey! Anyway, shout out to y'all, man. Let me keep rocking out with the most aggravating chat in the game, most appreciated chat in the world. Hold on. Matter of fact, grab you one of these, man. What you like, red? White? Blue? Let's go with the green. Keep the guys. Don't engage in criminal activities. Crime equals time. Keep the guys. Free the wrongly convicted and truly rehabilitated. Keep the guys, man. Shout out to y'all, though. Shout out to y'all. Tammy Griffin says, I don't trust Javon. Okay, where we at? J Pace. Oh, that's okay. Hold on. We called her. FBA Judah says, oh, yeah, the sheriff judge son. Oh, who was there? Are trustworthy. I don't know that sheriff said. What did the sheriff say, y'all? Spike and Friend says that boy Tatum interviewed. I'm sure his lawyer present and questions already known to him. We all wish that Nolan didn't suffer. Yeah, that Tatum interview, they said it was structured. They say it was well structured, for lack of better terms. You know what I'm talking about? Tammy Griffin says the sheriff's mouth ain't no prayer book. Mike from the Ville says nobody's ready for a race war because all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and they're gonna have to go too. So nah, let's not do that. Nah, let's not. Let's just chill, right? Mara says if he lost his life to so-called friends, it's awful. Last memory before you go. Right, bro. I'm not watching this. I'm suspicious because it looks suspicious, mother effers, right? But I'm not watching this and hoping that, oh, I'm correct. I want this to be the case. No, nigga. I don't want this man that had suffered at the hands of who he thought was a friend at his last memory. He looking, no, that's not what I wish. I can't have my wish. You know how many people I would bring back? Man, anyway, I don't even want to go there. I'm finna start. Chris says, mother's already caught in lies. Is that Sherry? Shermick? Shermick, right? Oh. I'm sorry, Shamika. Riley. My bad. Shamika Riley. When they kill our people, 10,000 of their people. Huh? I can't even understand what that. Shout out to Shamika. Our thought process travel faster than the speed of light. Y'all need to unlock that junk DNA. Y'all need to unlock man and sound. Oh, dog, Brody's, these volcanoes. Oh. They said, oh, she talking about energy. Okay. Hold on, Shamika. Hold on now. Come back. Y'all says it wasn't no effing accident. Accidents are open and shut. Why would you hide things if it was accidental? Chris says, no, it didn't. No, it doesn't. The sheriff told you he drowned. Smurfette. Nolan Wells' life matters and justice for Nolan Wells. Gertie Thomas says, what? Oh, she didn't say what. I saw XW something said, did he drink? K-Love said they made it suspicious day one. Kinetic says if it was accidental, the ambulance and police would have been called and the explanation would have been stated. FBA Judah said it's about the truth, facts. Shamika says, us never them, increase the heat, unlock the effing junk DNA. My people sound the F off. Dan the man says, that has kids. Jeffrey Sims says, Timu Chud the builder. Who said that? Mike from the Ville says, Chud like to put things where they, wow. Oh, he called him Chud. Y'all funny. ZV says you're a danger to society. Moi? Not me. Soft as a fly. ZV also says, and why should we feel sorry? Only One Rose says this clown now he wants sympathy with a piece of work. Slim Jones say, got him. Mike from the video says, Chud is the only one talking about his circles or his circle. I ain't going to assume everybody is the same timing, bro. He is bruh's an ass. Kinetic says they weren't here in the beginning of the time. Gertie Thomas says, yes, that racist got fired from his job. It's not funny anymore. FBA Judah says the FBI paid him a visit. He talked too goddamn much. ZV says all three of my black boys know how to swim and one is under 1 year old. FBA Judah says he basically let us know what to do. These people, all right, that's as far as letting me go. Dan the man said, dude just lost everything. Tammy Griffin said this fool just lost his job following that post. Shout out to y'all. Yeah, they should have got a search warrant for the boat, FBA. Shout out to Duke. Shout out to Alfonso. Cut the fuck up. So he said they saw 3, then he came back, saw Nolan again when he was leaving. Yeah, that shit wild, bro. Only One Road. Why didn't they have all of Nolan's body parts during the second autopsy? Veronica says, I think that maybe the girl was talking to a boyfriend. Oh, the girl that he was talking to, boyfriend beat him up. Yeah, Chump is throwback. I thought he called me Chump. That shit was funny as hell. I probably would have pinned that post. Like, man, he ain't do that, Chump. That shit was... I was going to pin that post like, man, he fried my ass. Oh, fried me. You wrong, Chump. Like, hey, goddamn, old school, you got it. I thought I was old. Shit, that motherfucker call me a chump. What's next, wimp? You gonna call me a wimp? Shout out to bro, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to the most aggravating chat in the game. The most appreciated chat in the world. Thank y'all, man. Y'all so aggravating.
So aggravating as hell, man.
But y'all so appreciated, man. Y'all are so appreciated. No content creator is nothing without the support of the people, man. Especially this one. Always remember that. No content creator is nothing without the support of the people, especially this one over here at the RUMORNATI. I know y'all might not be used to that, but we stop and show love, bro. We always got to make sure we show love to the people that show love back. We try to reciprocate the energy, bro, because one thing about it, y'all don't have to be here. Y'all don't have to rock out as long as y'all do. Y'all don't have to sit back and kick it and listen to the rants and put up with the noise and put up with the most aggravating chat. Right? But you can also go over there to your favorite creators and get ignored, never be seen, heard, acknowledged. You can do that too. But over here, we like to show love, man, to the people that show love to us. The reason why this thing can keep going, man, the reason why the RUMORNATI is a network is because of the people, man. You guys are what makes the RUMORNATI. The fact that we have questions, the fact that we have these conversations, and we can do it respectfully. We can agree to disagree. It's not a flock mentality. That's how you get to real truth. You don't get to the real truth by everybody having the same exact thoughts. You get to real truth by chopping it up and breaking it down. Everybody has to have their own perspective. And even if you share perspectives with somebody, you may bring something else to the conversation or what about this? And the conversations may get passionate, but it's never personal until you make it personal. Then we got to get you out of here because we don't tolerate that around here, man. All right? But if y'all want to chop this fable, make sure y'all hit that Discord. I showed y'all how to get there, man. I thank y'all. Nurse Lady T, super duper salute to you. Shout out to all the mods. Thank y'all, bro. Thank y'all, mods. I know it was hell. We had damn near 1,000 in here at one time. We had 500 strong for a pretty good amount of time. We had 300 strong for a good amount of time. We just stayed strong today, and I thank y'all for rocking out. I know I could be confusing a lot of times. Hey, don't do this. I do that. Yeah, let that go. But no, when that happens, just give them a warning. And then you see me just kicking the F out, and you're like, what are we supposed to do? I don't know either, motherfucker. But thank y'all for rocking out. and putting up with me, man. I thank y'all, man. I'm about to go and beat my chest like the game before he started singing Start My Life from Scratch. Y'all seen that video? This nigga down that fucking Don Julio was he beating his chest off. Man, sit your punk ass down, the game, nigga. Sit your fake Jay-Z looking ass, One Blood looking ass. Now, shout out to y'all, man. I ain't gonna lie. This shit be therapeutic sometimes, man. Even though it seems it's a hard road, man. I'll tell you that. We'll get to that later, but I appreciate y'all, man. I thank y'all. Thank y'all. Shout out. Let me see these last little names. I'm not little at all. I don't mean it like that. It's just when you from the South, you tend to throw little in front of things. I try to stop that because it seems like you're, I see you got your little job. No, hell no. Bro, congratulations on getting your new position, and I salute you. That shit sound like you hate, man. You got your little job or whatever. Nah, nigga. So shout out to the chat. Let me shout out the last names that I see before I go. I'm going to just scroll right up. I ain't reading nothing, y'all. So please don't give me nothing to read. Please, because y'all know I'll get distracted and start reading that shit. Don't do me like that. It's time for all us to go. We got shit to do. We got the boxing match tonight. We got, oh, shit, boy. Errol Spence fight tonight, right? We got Errol Spence returning to the boxing ring tonight. Man, y'all join the Discord. That's all I'm gonna say, man. I see you, K-Love. I see you. I see you, Nurse Lady T. I see you, Glenda. I see you, FBA Judah, my bro. Mike from the Ville. I see you, bro. Hold on, Ruth Noel. What's up with it? What we got? Slim John. Who? Slim John. John. Alfonso. What up? Sean. What up? Is that Latia? Oh, Latice. Latice Johnson. Did I say that right? I hope I did. Mike John, hold on, I gotta read hers. She said they can still check the boat even if they cleaned it because it's gonna show what they cleaned it with and what it's for. Let's go. Hold on now. I had to read that. Sorry, I'm trying to get up out of here, y'all. I know everybody ready to go, man. But Sean said set it off, match energy. Let's go. Slim John, who? ZV, I see you. MJ, I see you. Mike from the Ville, I see you. Kim, oh, you had to get up out of here. Bye. Duke Marquise, I see you. Alfonso, let's go. Cut it the F up. Let's go. Glenn. I shout out Glenda already. I don't care. Glenda again, nigga. Let's go. Only one road to Alba. Let's go. Veronica Cobb, let's go. Ruth Noel, Slim John, once again, motherfucker. I said it again, man. Shout out to bro. Mike from the Ville again. K-Love. Gertie Thomas. R Solutions. Jay Pace. Chris 415. Tammy Griffin. Half of these people probably gone. I'm going to go up until they let me stop. Is that Mara? Shamika. Y'all, bro. Kinetic. Smurfat. K-Love once again. Dan the Man. That's far opposite to let me go, y'all. And get it landed on my dog. FBA Judah one more time, man. We finna get up out of here. Spence fighting tonight against hold on, what's the guy name? I can't say this nigga name, man. Hold on. Let me get bro name real quick. There you go. Tim Zoo. It's actually his name is Tim Zoo. T-I-M-T, you know, like Sun Zoo. Like TZU, but it's TSZYU. Tim Zoo. So yeah. We on that tonight, man. Join the Discord is all I'm gonna say, man. We on that tonight. Fight tonight. Join the Discord. I'm gonna just leave it there. Join the Discord. I'm going to just leave it there. We about to go ahead and wrap it up, man. I appreciate y'all. VM, shout out to you. Only one road. Salute. Slim Jones, let's go. K-Love, let's go. FBA, Glenda, is that Deidre Brown? No one knows what really happened. No one can say there was a homicide based on what? I know that's right. Hey, we got to show love. Nurse Lady, once again, man, thank y'all. I'm just telling y'all. Y'all know what I mean when I say, yeah, fight night. I'm going to knock the out like fight night. Beat it with a left. Beat it with a right. I'm gonna knock the out like fight. Let's fight night tonight, y'all. Come on, man. Come on through. Pause if I said that and then told everybody, including the, you know what I'm saying? But F that song. We watching shit. Just join the Discord. That's all I'm gonna say. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Have your post notifications turned on, y'all. All right? Because ain't no telling when we popping back in. Follow us on all social medias, man. Rumonati Network, man. Thank y'all. Let me end this poll, read the poll, then we gonna get up out of here. Hey. All right, 54% said it's a homicide and a cover-up. 16% said undecided. 15% said drown, accidental death, and cover-up. 15% as well. Thank all 153 of y'all that voted. And I forgot the other polls we put up, but they was crazy. Y'all do not like Tatum. But y'all got love for Rumor, man, and Rumor got love for y'all, man. I thank y'all very much for rocking out, riding out. Once again, another successful one. Always, y'all, much love. Super duper salute. Shout out to the mod. Shout out to the most aggravating chat in the game. The most appreciated chat in the world. But like my bro said, I reserve the right to be wrong. That's only room for human error. I never set you out on purpose, right? And like I say, and like the merch say, which you can get for 20% off right now in the Rumonati shop. Everybody has a choice in this world. Some people want to be dogs, cats, men, women, and they weren't born that. And we are forced to respect their choices. So respect mine. This is my choice, my identity. Until we reach it, we gonna work. We gonna put in the work till we get there. But until then, it's the mindset, man. You too can identify as a multimillionaire, because I identify as a multimillionaire. If they got a bathroom, they got to give us a cash register. I walk in a restaurant, I see a special bathroom. Why don't I have a special cash register, nigga? I got a new identity. I identify some shit. Can y'all respect mine? Y'all help me get this bill passed, motherfucker. Other than that, man, it's the Rumonati Network, man. Enjoy y'all day. Much love. Let's go.